Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Just so you know. Welcome, everybody. We are live and in the color. Kind of. All right,
Yep.
so it's Sunday once again. Sunday. No, it's American. We're in New Zealand. No, it's Saturday. Right, anywho, and pick it with a resub.
No,
11
no.
months.
It's Sunday. Please tell me it's Sunday.
Yes,
I
We're
was
on
referring
Sunday.
to the reference Sunday, which is very much American. American football. Sunday night football.
Monster truck.
Yeah, that American announcer, yeah. But yes, so Sunday night. Last night was during nights at Baz's house, which we what did we battle? We battled a dinosaur of sorts. Well, we didn't really battle a dinosaur. We beat up some unsuspecting hunters who were trying to hunt said dinosaur, and we just didn't like that. So we upset let the hunters be killed by the dinosaur. It was kind of funny.
Was it a dinosaur?
Yeah.
Well, the model
is.
used was a dinosaur, but I mean, yeah, I guess you could call it reptilian as such.
Ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus.
No, it was called a carga.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
creature was a cargo, but the model was an ankylosaurus.
Model was an ankylosaurus.
But yes, it was rather fun though.
this is why you confused her.
And then when we finished the game, we ended up being faced with several wyverns and a dragon, which may not end well for us. just saying.
You're all going to die.
Considering my character let rip 2 Eldritch Blasts at one of the wyverns just for good measure.
Yeah,
You
my
have a
notes.
go at me for fireballing.
Hey, they were going to attack us no matter what.
Well, no, it wasn't.
Well,
My
that's how
notes.
Coram saw it anyway.
Yeah, my notes said
Fireball,
the
fireball.
wyverns would land as a warning and tell you like the others to leave. If anyone is attacked, then upon initiative count, highest initiative count, that is when the white dragon would land. And you guys attacked. So
Well,
there it
let's
is.
see. At the end of the day, I think
thought it was gonna be a Draci.
once the, I mean, we're talking about Draci here as well. I mean, there was no way we were getting out of that without a fight, especially with the Draci's character being there. But also too with finding out that our arch enemy is their leader, as such. I think that they would have.
And an STD.
The leader basically, it's kind of like, yeah, we're going to end up in a. But I thought I'd change that. I'll switch over the extension. Thank you, Drax. Did I not change
The Beyond Bar.
D&D Beyond extension? I forgot to change. One second. Change from those characters to those characters. It will take a few moments to come through, but you may have to refresh. But it has been done. Much, Drax. Appreciate that. Take my jersey off because I am hot.
I was thinking I might turn the heating on because I am cold.
No, you're not.
Hey, I started the fire because it's gonna get cold.
Right. Yay, Fibble Sims this campaign too. Yeah, well, I mean, we could do a crossover one day. That'd be funny as fuck.
No.
Have
I
you
have
all
enough
you all
problem
playing
with
dual
bloody
characters? Screwing the Maris over with
Hey,
double accents.
I'd like to level Fiddlestiff up to 11 because at 8 he's going to become a monster. So
That's if you get to level 8.
that's my downfall. I've got to get him up there.
Yes, the survivability in Barovia is a lot more harsh than it is in Paradigm. Right, so with that, I think that's probably a good time. I think the extension's sorted, everything else is sorted. We shall switch over to our DM and we shall start the recap for tonight's show. Boom, there he is. Hello, Mr. DM. Face a little closer. Right, Lions of Valond. When we left off last week, you had all returned back to Valond to recover from your fight with the vampire Cass, and for much needed rest. Namaris, still a little worse for wear, retreats to her room after bathing and such, and for some much needed rest. While she is resting, Sadiq has a conversation with one Craven, the dark sword that he'd picked up from the battlefield, and then heads out of the guild house. Fiala attempting to find out why, him acting rather strangely, in turn calls for Alessandros' assistance, a command spell, or a whole person spell, sorry, and some rope were able to restrain Sadiq, albeit in the street, in front of everybody, including a couple of city guard who decided to approach and find out what the hell was going on. Fiala, for some reason, decided to shapeshift into a large bear in the middle of the street, freaking one of the guards out, who then fires a spear at her, striking her in the shoulder. Alessandros sits down in the street, starts pleading with the guards. More guards are then alerted with the sounding of an alert horn, which also happens to gain the attention of Breton Hart, who proceeds to move in and quickly defuse the situation. Luckily for you, you guys have some sway with Breton, although he seems rather disappointed in you guys. Now back in the guild house, however, and Het returning from his errands, you manage to, after a fashion, free Sadiq from this seemingly cursed blade. First, a lesser restoration from Het managed to wake Sadiq out of whatever influence the sword was having over him at that time, and then a greater restoration severed the connection between him and the sword. After some discussion, it was decided that maybe the best course of action was to head to the Arcanus pod room, where you proceeded to have the sword completely identified, and found out that Sadiq was in fact in some pretty perilous danger with this sword, with it being a very powerful sentient being with a lust for blood and the souls of the living. It was then banished to a magical vault within the Arcanus, which you all seem reasonably satisfied that it would be safe where it was. You then head back to the guild house and then decide that you guys have not had a good time for some time, being out adventuring and trying to defeat the forces of Kosas and Cass and Asmodeus, and decided it was time for a pub crawl. With that, you woke Nemaris and proceeded to the first of a few bars. The first of the evening was the Harlequin and Flagon. Once there, Alessandros proceeded to reinitiate Nemaris back into the lines of Voland with the pranking that was prevalent in the beginning of your journey. Then after a few drinks there, you headed to the second bar, which was the Stout Harper. More prank continued and foiled, and Alessandros was left lying on the ground with her drink poured over top of her, but courtesy of Nemaris. And this is where we rejoin our heroes, and we'll continue our pub crawl as you now, in probably your second round at the Stout Harper, you are all drinking. Nemaris is not probably drinking as much as she normally would have. She's still feeling the effects of months of beatings and torture, but it is seemingly enjoying herself. Still a little, like, she definitely looks like she still needs some rest, but she's recovering relatively quickly. So with that, Lions of Voland, we now rejoin you at the Stout Harper, which has, by this time, has seen a few more patrons join. It's not busy, but it's starting to get that way. What are your plans? What are you doing?
If I remember correctly, I'm still lying on the floor.
Yes, you are.
And I want to get up and go back to the inn. Nope.
You are in the inn.
Back to the guild. Go back to bed.
Got one more bar to go to.
one more bar, and then we can go back to the guild.
We get a bar. Okay.
Yes, I had thought we were doing the rounds of the nearest bars. How many have we done? 2 now? 3?
2. You're on the second. Your final destination was the Squirrel and Hydra, which was the bar that you all frequented quite a lot when you first came to the city.
So is Namara still intent on heading back to the guild?
That is up to her, I guess.
After the next bar.
Good answer. Bad for me, but good answer.
So, are you all ready to leave and head to the Squirrel and Hydra?
If we've finished our drinks there, yeah.
You'll finish. You can finish this round of drinks. Before you leave, I'll get everyone to make a con save again, though.
Hitz has been using,
Yes,
as you said last time. Yes.
I remember. Still make your con save, but you'll make yours at advantage. Your DC will be a lot lower than the rest of them. Did you get a natural 20, Bagger? You're fucking kidding.
Natural 20.
Holy
So
fuck.
26 for my con save.
A natural 20 from Pekka, the first roll of the night. Holy shit. Hit your roll, please.
22 for hit.
22. And Fiela. 6. Elishandris.
16.
16. And Namaris. Yours is still at
17.
disadvantage.
Shit.
You're not exhausted anymore. You've had enough rest that your exhaustion's gone, but you're still not 100%.
17.
All right. So with
What was
that,
it, 20? What was it, 22? So I guess it's 17 then.
17. So, Pekka, you're well in your stride. You haven't had a decent night drinking in a while. You're absolutely enjoying yourself. You're starting to feel the effects of the alcohol, but it's not drinking's not uncommon to you. So you're handling it very, very well. Hit, you're perfectly fine. You've been doing your little thing every now and again, excusing yourself, and Kalek is casting Lesser Restoration on you to keep you relatively sober.
Hit is sort of acting a little tiddly, just playing the tiddly game.
No worries. Alessandra, you feel you're getting a good glow on. Again, you're not used to drinking. You seem to be handling it a lot better than you normally would. Your DC is lower than everybody else as well, by the way, just so you know, because you don't drink often. But higher, sorry. But you're starting to feel the effects. Got a little bit of a glow on. Not slurring your speech or anything like that, but you're definitely starting to feel the effects of the alcohol now. Namaris, you as well. You normally are used to drinking. You normally are quite a big drinker, but all this time with no food, no water, or very little water, you are definitely starting to feel the effects of the alcohol. Yes.
I would also, at this point, probably start drinking water in between.
There is no water on your table, so you can go get some water in between.
I would go and get some, because, yeah.
Which is probably wise. You're not stupid, so you're definitely wanting to.
Namaris, sit down. I'll go get the water for you.
Your head.
Whatever. Thank you. Would you like me to get you some as well?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, I'll go and get us both some.
Right, and Fiela, you unfortunately, you're starting to turn into that emotional drunk. Differing emotions, by the way. You've since recently found out where the leaders of the Fang are. That made you happy, but also very, very angry. You probably at this point will, because you know these guys know who you are, you may start displaying definitely the angry drunk with the information you've been given that you really want to go kill these guys, especially finding out about Heltman and Aaron as well, that some of these council members still live. Also, knowing that they were directly responsible for the death of your offspring, that sadness will come in and that despair will come in from time to time as well. And that would just be amplified with the alcohol that you were drinking. as we all know how alcohol works. So, with that, bearing that in mind, you finish your last round of drinks here, and you move to the final bar in your pub crawl for this evening, which is a bar you all know very, very well. It is the bar you first chose to stay at when you all first arrived in Voland, and you got to know its owner reasonably well, the halfling by the name of Eraf. When you get to the Squirrel and Hydra, you get into the establishment, and you are greeted with a familiar sight. The Eraf is there behind the bar. He's straightening things up, and he's a portly half-elven gentleman. A few patrons in the bar. It seems to be relatively busy. As you walk in, the first thing that you notice is that, especially you, Hit, the music that's being played is the flautist, Nalisi is there, the half-elven bard that you have played with a few times when coming to this establishment. She's over by the fireplace in her usual place, playing a song that you know very, very well, and is playing it extremely well. She seems to improve since the last time you were here. She catches your attention as you walk in, and she gives you a wave and a smile. Fiala, can you please roll a wisdom save for me? As you are a little inebriated, and probably just maybe a little jealous at this point, if you're seeing these types of things.
Well, it's 18 plus 8, so we're 26. I want it to be low, though. I really want it to be low with flavor. You notice her wave and smile at Het. Het, what was your reaction to her? How did you respond?
Het is always nice to everyone that is nice to him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. You're playing so well."
So you notice that Het responds in kind, smiles and says what he says. You push it down at this point. You just put it to one side. You think to yourself, I'm gonna remember that. Yes.
I am drunk, so would that be a disadvantage? Kinda, because my wisdom's kind of off.
Yes, we'll say at disadvantage then.
Oh, she wants to be.
I really want to fail.
Yes,
Just
we'll
for
say at
flavor.
disadvantage for flavor. Definitely. We got to do it.
That's a nat 1 with an 8, so that's 9.
Okay, that is a failure.
Yeah.
So you can play
I want to be
that.
that bad.
You can play that however you wish, but I wouldn't say that you're angry at Het, but you're definitely the green-eyed monster has definitely reared its ugly head at this point. So how you deal with that is completely up to you. So whether you react on that now or a little bit later, we'll leave that up to you.
Just gonna grimace a little, and look at them both, but then I'm gonna go and pat Sadiq on the shoulder and be like, "I'll buy this round because I feel really guilty because I'm emotional about making you go to a brothel, and so I feel bad. You know, I'm gonna pay for the round instead of you this time, buddy."
And as you're having this little discussion, you guys, Eraf spies you guys coming in. Oh, welcome back! Haven't seen you guys for such a long time. Fun, you guys, get out of that table. Move. The Lions of Voland have returned. And he's sort of standing on top of the bar with his arms up. And this the same. Everyone stops. The music stops, and everyone stops and turns and looks. And you see this group of probably looks like farmers or just common folk look up and shake their heads and begrudgingly pick up their stuff and move from the largest table in the establishment. And Eraf says, "That's your table. Take it. I'll bring you over some drinks and food. Do you want drinks and food, or just drinks? What are we after?"
Drinks and food.
Drinks and food.
Including
Anya.
some water.
Of course. Whatever you need. Whatever you need.
Actually, some coffee as well.
No coffee.
Yes, coffee.
No coffee.
I put my hand over his mouth at this point and say, "Please for coffee."
Irish coffee.
Namaris, is that you? Oh my God!
Yes, it is.
Wow! And he jumps off the bar and he just runs up to you and actually right round your waist because he's like quite a few bit shorter than you,
No coffee.
and just gives you a big hearty hug and sort of leans back and goes, "Well, you've lost a bit of weight, lass. Had to fix
Don't
that."
you worry. I'll be back in training quicker than you think.
Good. Right, drinks and food. Sit down. I'll be right with you. And then he turns and takes off quickly. Elisandros, you want to say something?
No coffee.
You don't know whether he's heard you or whether he's taken any notice or not, but he's gone.
I know. I'm just
I'm looking at Ali and going, what do you got against coffee, dude?
We're here to enjoy, not sober up.
Ali, get her an Irish coffee with whiskey in it, I think.
Oh yeah, do that one.
You could do that.
After maybe 20 minutes or so, 20 minutes, half an hour, you guys are sitting there drinking, or not drinking, you're waiting for your drinks and food. The music starts up again. There is a bit of a ruckus at the far end of the bar, however. You do notice there is a rather drunk dwarf, sort of got a pitcher in his hand. You're not sure what's in it, but he's sort of staggering back and forward. He's singing very loudly at this point, and long black, like jet black hair, braided down both sides, down to his waist. Immaculate beard, probably the best beard you've seen on a dwarf for quite some time. Big thick braid down the center with two smaller braids from the moustache coming down, and it has runes tied into the braids as well. Dressed in what looks to be monk's robes. It's kind of unusual to see a dwarf in monk's robes, but very loud and kind of staggering backwards and forwards, and he seems to be bumping into a few people and having loud discussions with these people. But he doesn't seem to be causing you guys any issues at this point. With that, yes, no worries.
I'll wait for you to finish first.
What do you want to say?
I was going to say I'm going to go over and talk to this monk.
Okay, you don't know who he is, but
He's making a ruckus.
he's not really making a racket. He's just being loud. Like, he's drunk, just like just like you guys are at this point. You're all under the influence of alcohol and being quite loud. It's a bar. Just give me a moment. With that, Eref returns, brings your drink, brings a pitcher of whiskey. He does bring coffee, however. It's not a huge pot of coffee. It's just almost a smaller pitcher, but it does have coffee in it. Brings out a platter of assorted foods, including raw meats for Het, as he remembers vividly that Het is a raw meat eater. And he then is a mead there for Zadig. There's a pitcher of ale. It's just a range of drinks and food. With that, you guys tuck in, start drinking, start eating. Is there anything you guys wish to discuss at this point?
Well, actually, something I wanted to do before the coffee starts getting drunk.
Nothing's being drunk yet. It's all on the table in front of you.
We got whiskey there.
Yes.
So I grabbed the whiskey, I grabbed the coffee, I put some whiskey in the coffee.
No one seems to stop you.
No, I can't stop you.
No one's sobering up tonight.
How much whiskey are you pouring in? Like, are you like glug glug glug
Is
glug?
it
Are you
half and half? How much whiskey are you putting in the coffee?
How full's the coffee?
The coffee pot thing was quite full. It was like a half pitcher, but it was full.
So I call for an empty mug.
Which Eref brings you quite happily.
Pour a third of the coffee into that mug, whiskey, hand it to Namaris.
So you now have a half pitcher of Irish coffee in front of you, Namaris. Do you accept it?
I pick it up, I look at it, and I look at Ali, and I'm like, cheers, and I down it.
So with that, you start drinking your drinks. Damaris drinking her Irish coffee. Hit excusing himself every momentarily, every, I don't know, probably 20 minutes, half hour or so. And Sadiq.
Do I notice Het leave?
Oh, you'll do. He just excuses himself, like he's going to go to the toilet or just to
gonna
get some
follow
air.
him.
You're going to follow him this time?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him. I've seen him do it a couple of times. It's like his bladders can't be that small. What the hell is he up to? So I'm gonna follow him.
Or fair call?
You see, Hit, you'll watch him. He would go to the either outside for fresh air or to the outhouse, whichever he said, sort of once every hour or so. And Kilik, as a spider, would be there, and he would just pet Kilik, and then he would step back into the room after a few moments of petting Kilik. Not really much chatting going on.
Is the lesser restoration spell vocal, by any chance?
I'm just checking that right now.
I think it
Well,
is.
Well, it doesn't matter because Kilik's distribution of it is his
telepathic.
bonus action by touch.
But you're casting of it initially, though.
Yeah, the initial casting to him is, I believe it is,
Does it have a vocal component? I believe it does.
it does have a vocal component, yes.
So, Sadiq, roll a intelligence check for me. At disadvantage because you're under the influence of alcohol. Even though you're not feeling huge effects of it, you are still under the influence of alcohol. But this is a spell you would have heard and seen cast most recently, in fact, the same day, on yourself. So, 15?
Yeah.
That's a good roll.
Well, the first one was better, but
With that, you recognize the words that Het is uttering.
Yes,
And-
it says in common, Mother of Mercy, cure what ails, as he distributes it to Kilik.
Do you say anything at this point?
no, I'm just gonna turn around and go back in.
Okay. Hit roll perception to see if you noticed, and again, you'd be just a straight roll because you're not under the influence of alcohol.
That is 21.
I would say that you probably noticed that Pekka was close by and had followed you. Whether you say anything or not is up to you.
Hit sort of looks back, sees Sadiq exit, and says nothing.
You both
Goes back to the table.
you both
and-
so Sadiq, you return to the table just before Hit does, and then Hit shortly after you return to the table as well. Oh, excuse me. That was the table next to you. You did loud burp, man.
Before Harry gets back to the table, I'm like leaning on Allie. I'm like, yeah, I'm prettier than she is, right? I mean, what is that, a flute? I mean, I have bird pipes, but I mean, ice. I have ice power. He's got it like that, right? And I just keep going on.
Yeah, so Fiala is verbaling drunk at this point.
While she's doing that, I'm just stroking her hair.
Neymaris, what are you doing at this point? After, because you'd notice all that as well. It's right at the table, and so you'd get back and catch the tail end of that as you reset yourself.
I'm just shaking my head.
You'd probably catch the very tail end of that as you returned as well before they realised you were sort of back at the table.
Before Hit returns, he goes over to where the woman is playing, and I'm assuming she has some sort of tip jar.
She does. She has it's like a wooden bowl which is sitting on the hearth of the fire, and you can see there is a smattering of different coins, copper, silver, and a couple of gold in there as well.
Hit can hear she's improved, and he knows it costs a lot to go to college, and he thinks he will help her out with her college, and he sort of leans over and drops 10 gold into her wooden jar and says, hey, I went to a great college. Definitely, they're worth checking out. Go. I mean, you're doing very well, but extra training can always help. But keep it up. And he sort of goes back to his table.
She doesn't say anything to you because she's playing, and she gives you a nod of gratitude and raises her eyebrows and gives you not really a wink, but gives you that look as if to say, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But it's definitely a flirtatious look. Fiala, unfortunately, you probably not see this from your position. And because you were too busy nattering to Alessandra, she would probably not notice this exchange.
Does Hit pick up on the flirtatiousness?
Roll. Actually, what's your passive perception?
It is 15.
Yeah. You'd notice it. By now, you've been around enough humanoids now to have picked up specific skills and body language and things like that. And you've seen probably enough of this now to recognise it for what it is.
Hit will be a little embarrassed, and because she's still playing, right?
Yes.
He would just sort of smile and go, nothing like that. Just for college, as he walks away.
Duly noted. And you return to your seat. By this point, the dwarf that you heard make a bit of a ruckus earlier staggers over towards your table. Right up to you, Sadiq, however, and sort of leans on the table, elbow on the table, just looking at you, as if to say, it gives us a real interesting look, like, what the fuck did you say? That real sort of in your face kind of look, just leaning on the table. It hasn't said anything yet, but just looks at you.
I look at him and I go, finish my mead, grab another one, actually grab two, hand him one. What's your name?
It's all you.
That sounded like a character out.
It's all you. This is your character. By the way, chat, this is a character that Michelle created and then tried to pass off to me as the NPC with her channel points. So I've now dropped her in it, and she is going to play this character.
Hey. Hey, Sadiq, what did you call me?
What's
you call-
your name?
I thought you called me Sharon.
What?
You don't know my name? Weren't you at the fights the other night? I saw you there for like 3 hours. You won like a bunch of gold.
You were at the fights?
Yeah. Was it in the fights?
That's why you look familiar.
Yeah. I don't really care for the look of you. I'm pretty sure you called me Sharon. You know, no one here calls me that. It's Sharon Muir.
Aaron,
Yeah.
didn't even know what your name was, mate.
Right. Sure you didn't.
No, I didn't. My name's Sadiq. Have a mead.
Right.
You're offended at him offering you mead for a start. You don't drink mead. You never drunk mead. You hate mead. You are a whiskey drinker through and through. Mead is for soft people. Hard liquor is where it's at for the likes of you and your clan.
If you saw me there, you knew I was drinking whiskey the whole time. I think you're really trying to offend me. Is this an orc thing? What are you? Like, you're green? Are you trying to make fun of my culture? You know?
No.
Is it because you think I'm too short?
That's what I gave you.
Because we can have it out right now.
I think you.
Although-
Why would I think you're too short?
It would be an insult to fight somebody as weak as you, though.
Right.
Amaris.
I look over, and I wander over, put my arm around Sadiq's shoulders and go, What's happening? What are you? What? Looking at this little wee thing, it's like you're right there, love.
I am a man, God damn it. I'm not your love, and I'm not a wee one.
With that, Sharon, roll a d6 for me, please.
Six.
You reach out and you punch Sadiq, fair in the jaw. You just pop him right in the jaw. Sadiq, you'll take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as just out of nowhere this dwarf just socks you right in the mouth. Doesn't knock you off your chair. It doesn't hurt per se. It wasn't like it was intended to do any damage. It was like almost like a warning shot or a come on, let's get it on shot. Now, Maris, you were you saw this coming, but you couldn't react quick enough to stop it. So you'll both get a reaction to this as well, or everyone will. No, Maris.
I'm gonna look at her, him, it.
It's a him, for Christ's sake.
Oh, no.
Did you just hit my friend?
I'll take you all but together. I'll take you one at a time. I'll take you with my hand behind my back. Come on.
At this point, I'm gonna rage. You're in trouble now.
Just
do
remember,
not
all
hit
your
my friends.
attacks in your current condition will still be at disadvantage, but you are allowed
That's
to
fine.
rage. So you all see, this is something you guys haven't seen for quite some time. Amaris, even though she's looking a little thin and gaunt compared to her usual self, she stands up, bolt upright, and just you can see it like she flexes, and that color comes back to her eyes. That brilliant red color comes back to her eyes, something you haven't seen for some time. And Amaris, you rage. Sadiq, your reaction to this?
First, the question: would my fist be classed as a weapon?
No. For purposes of this, I would say no.
Okay.
Be all unarmed combat at this point. I mean, you could draw your weapons, but he's got no weapon.
No. I'm not going to draw. I was asking because if I was,
You
I was
cannot-
going to imbue.
You
I was
cannot
gonna
imbue
my
your fists. You cannot. Nice try. You cannot imbue your fists with your rights.
Poor
Alright.
Sharon.
Nice try though.
All right. So I'm just going to slog him back, but at the same time, cast Curse of the Bloated Agony on him as well.
Okay, so roll to hit. I'll give you this reaction before we go into initiative.
19.
19. Does that hit your? You'll be about the same level as them. I would put your armor class around as a monk would be around 16 or 17. So, because monks don't generally wear armor. So we will, for the purposes of this, we will say that does hit. We'll set your AC at 17 for the remainder of this fight. So it's all going to be unarmed combat. So all your attacks, we're not going to run on hit points. We're just going to run on actual hits, and I will determine how many hits it takes to end the fight. And I'll keep track of it. So for this intensive purposes, you do get hit. Sharon, as you reach out and you crack Sadiq, you stand back and you're sort of swaying a little bit, and you get ready to strike again, and then you just get this large green fish that catches you flush on the side of the jaw, and knocks you. Doesn't knock you to the ground, but it knocks you to the side a little bit. And it's like, holy crap! Didn't see that coming. But
I
now,
still say, my mother hits harder than you.
All right. So
with that, we will now enter into initiative. What does the curse do, by the way?
she has to do a DC Constitution saving throw.
So I will make a save. She roll 18 was the roll, and
Pass.
with a monk should be a +2 at least. So
But she,
he.
him.
Yeah. So with that, we'll have Namaris, Sharon, and Sadiq roll initiative, and anyone else who now wants to be involved in this. So Het and Alessandros and Fiala, if you're all sitting at the table. I think Fiala's probably by this point probably too far gone. And it's probably just sitting there watching it because it's entertaining. but everyone can roll initiative if you wish. So, Namaris, your initiative,
Yes.
please.
I rolled a 10.
Where's my pen? There it is. Just gonna make a note of this in the back of my book. Where we were at. So Namaris was a 10. Alice Saunders.
I'm assuming Theo is still leaning on my shoulder.
Probably.
Well, I'm just going to sit there and go, fight, fight, fight,
Okay,
fight.
so you're not going to be involved. Sweet. Hit.
12.
12. Sharon.
15.
15. And Sadiq.
16.
16. So Sadiq, you're at the top. Sadiq, Sharon, Hit, and Mars. So Sadiq, you got that retaliated strike back on Sharon. You now have the upper hand in the initiative. You stand up and square off with this dwarf that is staggering really heavily, from swaying side to side. It's kind of unnerving, the movement of this person. You can tell that he's really, really drunk, but it's odd. Even though he's drunk, you can see he's definitely got a bit of skill. Roll a hit, please.
26.
Was that a natural, fucking natural 20, wasn't
Yeah.
it? We will mark that as a double strike on Sharon as you square up and this crack him twice. Once in the jaw, with sort of left cross into the jaw, and then an uppercut into the midsection. And you ready yourself again.
Are we going off attack?
It's just basically whether it hits or not.
But are we doing attack per action?
No,
Like
it's just
two attacks?
it's just a single. We're going to go just a single attack per round, and it'll be based on whether you hit or not. Because you've hit twice, basically, we will say, with a natural 20. We're going to have basically success and failure. A certain amount of successes will end the fight. So with that, Sadiq, that was your strike. You managed to attack and hit him twice. Sharon, you have now taken another blow to the chin and to the midsection. I feel like it might have cracked a rib. It was a pretty good shot. Doesn't seem to phase you. You're pretty drunk. It's now your attack. You're attacking Sadiq specifically, or because Namaris is now standing next to Sadiq as well, getting ready to join this battle.
I'll probably attack Sadiq since he attacked last, but it's going to be a miss, I think, because it's a 4.
Yeah, Sharon, you're a little drunk, and you go for a front kick with your monkish ways, and just misjudge completely, and it's almost like you're going for a groin shot, but you couldn't get your leg that high, so you do miss. With that, Hit, you're sitting there watching what's happening. This little dwarf has come up and had a pretty intense conversation with Sadiq, has clocked Sadiq in the jaw. Sadiq has retaliated, and Namaris has stood up and has started to rage. It is now your turn.
Hit finds this amusing. He's like, a bit of fisticuffs. You know, if it gets too out of control and someone pulls a weapon, I'll do something. So he casts prestidigitation every time Sadiq hits to give sparks. Wherever Sadiq hits, sparks are going to fly off.
Awesome. I love it. Duly noted. With that, is that pretty much all you're going to do at this point?
That is all Hit will do at this point,
No
correct?
problem. Namaris, it is now your turn. So you have seen this dwarf that you don't know. I mean, you've probably... No, this dwarf's new to the city, so you've never met the dwarf before, but he has just punched your friend in the face, basically.
So I will punch him too.
Okay, so roll your attack at disadvantage, please.
Can't get any worse than that. I rolled natural 1.
Unfortunately, with rage, it'll be a straight roll. we will
Well,
take
then it
away
will
your.
be an actual one.
So
That's the only one I rolled.
we'll make it. Yeah, we'll make it from further forward while you're raging. We'll make it just a straight roll. With that, yeah, you go to strike for this, and this dwarf is just swaying from side to side. And as you reach out and go to crack him in the face, he just sways almost unnaturally, like he was staggering out of the way, and then comes back to position again.
In all honesty, I think I'll drop my rage, look at the pair of them and go, I'm too bloody knackered for this shit.
And you sit down.
And I sit down.
Duly noted. So Namaris drops off the initiative order. With that, we're back to Sadiq. You've seen this dwarf try and go for the dirty blow, the dirty groin shot, and just completely misjudged how tall you are and couldn't get his leg as high enough to strike you in the groin. It's now your turn.
I'm going to do an elbow. No, not an elbow. A knee to the face with a 22.
I believe that'll hit. Sharon, Sadiq just reaches out and grabs you by the shoulders and then just brings the knee up, a rather large knee, and cracks you in the cheekbone, rocks you back a little. You're not feeling too good at this point. He's opened a bit of a wound on your cheek. You're starting to sober up a little bit, which is unusual for you. You really don't like to be sober. So you reach out the table and just grab whatever the closest picture is, whether it's your table or their table, it's just something, and you just down the entire thing, staggering around, and then you stagger forward again and attack Sadiq.
Like, what is this, coffee? Yeah.
No, mead, actually.
Make your attack roll.
15.
Sadiq, does that hit you?
Yes.
It's a miss.
Come on, really?
17 armor class.
So with that, you strike, Sharon. You strike out again at Sadiq, and Sadiq just stands there and takes it as you crack him in the ribs, but you just find nothing but armor. It just doesn't quite penetrate enough to do any damage. Back to hit if you want to do anything. By the way, there was a big pile of sparks when you hit Sharon in the face with your knee too.
Yes. Hit noticed. Is it Sharon or is it actually something else?
Sharon Mir is the dwarf's name, but everyone, you heard was, yeah, you said, my name is Sharon Mir, but I swear you called me Sharon was the conversation.
Hit noticed Sharamir pick up a drink from the table, and seeing this, he starts pouring a few extras and pushing them close to Sharamir. But he has a potion of sleep in his bag, and he tips the potion of sleep in the one closest to her, and sort of points it out and says, Sharamir, proper whiskey right here. That's what you're after.
With that, yeah, I mean, with what's going on, Sharon would probably not notice the potion being poured into the cup. Back to the top of the initiative order with Sadiq. So Sadiq, you probably haven't noticed what Head has done either, but as again your attack.
Get another hit for 23.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit. What are you doing this time? How are you striking the dwarf?
I'll just
Double axe handle?
Yeah, into his head.
So yeah, Sadiq sort of raises up to full height, double axe handle right down on the top of your forehead, Sharon, and it's a pretty severe blow. It staggers you but doesn't drop you. You sort of stagger back and bump into the table, and at that point you hear this Dragonborn sitting there telling you, oh, this is proper whiskey, you should try this. And it's a cup sort of right there. So you pick it up and you just down the whole thing. Hit, can you tell me what the save is for that, please?
It's just a potion, so it's a DC 10. I'm hoping with the drunkenness and the punchedness, it might be a disadvantage.
It will be indeed. I will make the roll.
Dwarf with glandular fever.
The moment, Sharamir, as you down this whiskey, you stagger forward and right, my turn. You take half a step forward and you just rock and fall flat on your face and start snoring heavily. And with that, the brawl is over in an instant as the potion of sleep takes you, and at this point, Iraf is sort of coming over the table. It's like, fucking dwarf! It's the second time. Jimmy, where are you? Get this fucking dwarf out of here, would you? Get the city guard or something. It's the second time I've had to deal with this shit.
Arif, I will take him outside. It's okay. Don't get
Well-
the city. Don't involve the guard. I will sort it. We are the lions. And
Okay,
he picks him up and
sure.
drags him out.
And you wouldn't have any problems picking him up. He's
Nah. Before all that, I'm just going to go, hit, no. Rent him a room, put him
Yes.
in the room, I'll pay for it.
you
It was
sure?
okay.
I mean, he
It
just
was-
punched you in the face.
Oh, it was all in good fun.
Well, you looked like you were having fun. I mean, you were grinning the whole time. I mean, God, it was pretty entertaining for us. I mean, a few of the boys were putting bets on to win, and
Oh, did I win?
I think,
Come
well, I think you did. I think.
Where's my share? Come on.
Don't look at me. I didn't
Hey.
take no bets. I mean, come on. I'm just an inn owner. I mean, Jesus.
Pay with the room with the gold you made fighting, Sadiq?
What gold made fighting?
Apparently,
I didn't make any gold made fighting. I didn't fight.
watching fights.
I was watching the fight.
Sadiq, make a deception check with disadvantage, minus
That's okay.
2. So disadvantage minus 2.
Ildrid's already
So that
angry.
would be -2.
Yeah, so I think you know you've been caught out. Even though Ildri or Fiala / Ildri is drunk, she heard. I think everyone at the table heard the conversation between the dwarf and yourself. And Ildri obviously has put 2 and 2 together and realised that you did not, in fact, visit a brothel.
I had a good night on the town.
And with that, Jimmy comes over. You guys pay for a room, and Sharamir is carried over the shoulder of this large human. Like he's about 6'4". He's built like a brick shithouse. Looks like he's a new employee of Iraf's bouncer / porter, whatever, and carries this sleeping dwarf upstairs to a room to sleep off.
As they take him away, Hit heals Sharamir for 20 wounds.
Okay. He hadn't taken much damage. Like, it was enough damage to probably knock out most people. He was pretty sturdy and pretty stout. So that you're probably you're relatively impressed with how much this dwarf was able to withstand before sort of he started looking a bit rough. But with that, the bar brawl has been taken care of, and Sharamir has been laid to rest. Not in the permanent sense. And with that, you return to your table, you return to your drinks, and we'll have everyone make another con save at this point. Fiala, yours at disadvantage. Well, everyone's at disadvantage, except for Hit. Fiala's, you'll be disadvantaged -2.
Hit's just checking his spell slots.
So 12 minus 2 is 10.
10. Yeah, so you're not sick, but you're definitely on your borderline. You're starting to feel a little queasy. You're definitely at the end of your night. Namaris.
I rolled an 11, so I think I'm going to grab Yanti.
Yeah, you're
Nope,
pretty much
Fiala,
feeling
and
much
I'm
the
gonna
same.
Get
Yeah.
my arm through hers and let's say, should we go back to the guild house? You'll have to carry me.
Okay. All right, we'll go. And I look at Allie and be like, watch him.
Hit your roll, please.
Hit roll a 6.
God, even a straight roll was a 6.
Yeah.
Like that. It seems that your last couple of spells may not have taken effect like you hoped. You're not drunk by any means, but you've definitely started to feel the effects of the alcohol at this point. Maybe Collect was a little off with his return spell in the last couple of applications. Alessandros.
So with I got a 5, so I'm really feeling it now.
Yes, you're in the same boat as Fiala and Amaris. You're not like
So-
super hammered, but you're starting to feel a little queasy.
So, with what Fiala said to me, I look at Het and go, I'm watching you. Yep, I'm watching. I'm watching.
It's like, what are you? What? I don't understand. What are you watching me for?
Yeah, told me to watch you. I'm watching you.
Hit reaches into his pack and he pulls out his little grey skull and he says, "Well, I'm watching you."
I'm hiding.
Awesome. Sadiq, your roll, please.
I got a 17.
17. Even with the little bit of fisticuffs and the adrenaline would have obviously helped subside the drunkenness a little bit. You're definitely feeling it. Nowhere near as bad as these guys. You're not slurring your speech at this point, but you're still feeling the effects of the alcohol. You know that again, even with your constitution, that it is definitely probably the end of this evening, and it's probably time to head back and let these guys sleep it off.
Yeah, I'm just going to go, yeah, all right. We've had our fun. Time to go home. Where's home from here?
One more. I want one more.
Ellie.
Yeah, one more. Yeah, one more.
Here. Can I hand him a bucket and go, there's your one more. Let's go.
Do you
Since
go,
I
Alessandro?
know you're the most soberest. Take us
Yeah.
home.
Hit nods at him and he says, out loud, nothing to hide, he says, "Yes, with all our enemies at the moment, I figured at least one of us should be sober driving."
Oh, I love
And
it.
Hit leads them out.
I love it. So you all stagger. The first of you, Namaris and Alessandros, get up. Maris and Fiala get up, stagger towards the door, and out into the street. Shortly thereafter, Hit, Alessandros, and Sadiq, you follow. You guys are following just behind the other two.
I look at Fiona and I'm like, some strange men following us, and something that looks a little bit like strange.
No?
Something really strange following us.
Men?
Let's keep going.
You would recognise who they are. You're not that drunk. So you, from the Squirrel and Hydra is about at a sober pace is at about 45 minutes from the guild house. At a drunken pace, however, probably takes you about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get back to the guild house as you stumble through the streets. Can't hear you.
I still have exhaustion.
No, you don't. No, I told you that before. But yeah, so still takes you a good couple of hours to, because you guys keep, I'm assuming you guys keep pace with the girls just to make sure they get home. So
Yeah, Hit makes them sort of hang behind a bit,
yeah,
a little further back just to keep an eye on them.
they are pretty drunk, so they definitely take a lot longer than usual to get back. But you do make it back to the guild house unscathed and unmolested. You still get disadvantages on your rolls, on certain rolls based on your physical condition. You're not exhausted, but you're still not 100%. What I said. So I will tell you when you have straight roll or disadvantage. Your disadvantage will be on things like dexterity and strength because you're not at full capacity yet. So with that, you make it back to the guild house, and is there anything you guys wish to discuss with your drunken companions before heading to bed for the evening?
I'm singing a song. And you're like, here's one about fish. I loved her and never flounder. Oh my God. I loved her bass. And I keep going.
My God, someone clip that, please. Please
I
clip that.
assume, I
That's
assume we all
actually
got
a
back in there.
I'm not going to say who that came from though.
That was great. So with that, Fiela singing loudly staggers to her room. You find your bed and you faceplant into your bed and are out. Namaris, I'm assuming you would have probably walked into her room and watched her faceplant into her bed and just shake your head as she is out. She's out and sleeping. You then proceed to your own bedroom. By this point, you get to your room and on your door is your name, which wasn't there before. The same as everybody else's. Fiela's is on her door, yours is on your door, and the rest of the lions had their names painted or calligraphied on the door. So it's a surprise, but it's comforting at the same time. You then head to your room for much needed rest also. Sadiq, Alessandros, and Het, what are you guys doing at this point?
I'm just going to go, what? That was a good night. Go to bed. Then go to bed. Actually help Ellie to a room.
Yeah, so Ellie is pretty trash at this point. So you're going to help Alessandros to her room.
Het will help them both.
Okay. And we will say for point of reference and brevity that those of you that do get to your rooms, you will doff your armor before sleeping. Fiela, you did not, however. You just passed out. So unless you wake at some point during the night and remove your armor, you will wake with a point of exhaustion. So you can decide that during the course of your sleep, what you want to do.
Het has a few spell slots left. Once he gets them to bed, he will just poke his head into each one's room as they are lying down, and he will lesser restoration. I have 1, 2, 3. I have just enough for everyone except for my last one.
Nice.
So I will lesser restoration everyone just to help them out. It's not going to make it perfect with all those drinks, but at least it will help them out.
It will certainly take the edge off, shall we say, of the morning hangover that was definitely due for Fiela and Alessandros.
It will only leave me 2 first level spell slots.
You're going into a long rest.
We're going into a sleep, hopefully.
You're going into a sleep. So you will retire. By this point, you'll retire to your rooms, and the night goes without incident. You guys are fairly certain that you are safe in the city, as the city has been warded. It was warded quite some time ago to stop any events happening while in the city. You all sleep soundly. Some more soundly than others with the aid of chemical assistance. But you all slowly come to consciousness in the morning. Sadiq and Het probably the first to rise. Alessandros, Fiela, and Namaris, you all rise roughly the usual time you'd normally rise. Fiela, you're feeling a little hungover. You don't have that pounding headache or anything like that. It's just that body hangover, as does Alessandros. And Namaris, you're feeling a lot better today. Definitely, the night out has lifted your spirits somewhat. But today, you feel that you need to do some training. You need to start rebuilding your body. You know you've got a couple of 3, 4 days before you guys need before Het has his enchantment ready, and you think that 2 or 3, 4 days of some good solid physical training will certainly put you back on the road to full recovery. So it's up to you where you decide to do that, whether you go talk to Breton or whether you talk to these guys about doing some sparring with them. But you want to fight. You want to get in and start training yourself back up again.
I'll go back and see Breton.
So with that, you will descend the stairs, moving down to the main guild hall, where we will have breakfast once again. You've all completed a long rest, so make sure you have your spell casting ability has been restored, and your health has been restored also. As I said, Fiela and Alessandros, you are both feeling a little under the weather, not too hungover, a lot less hungover than you both expected you would be. let's say, but still just a little hungover. Now you all know you have, again, you don't have any pressing matters. You don't have to rush off anywhere with haste. You know that Het has gone and looked for an enchantment of something. I'm assuming he may have told you you've got 2 or 3, 4 days before that enchantment is ready.
Yeah, he would have mentioned it.
So you know you've got a few days before Het would prefer to wait for it, so that if you were to get into any kind of incursion or battle, that you would be 100% fighting fit. You also know that Neymaris is, by this point, has probably mentioned that she wants to start training again. She wants to build herself back up, and has talked about heading to the barracks, maybe to talk to Breton about getting some training.
I would like to, anytime available, go and get something carved on obsidian tablets for a spell that I want. Would that be like a stonemason or a...
That would be a stonemason, yeah. That wouldn't be too difficult to you. I mean, obsidian's pretty hard.
Yeah.
It would probably cost a little bit because it'd be a specialized.
Yeah, it says 100 GP. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want what's the spell?
Shout of Draconic Power.
And it costs you a piece of obsidian worth 100 gold.
Yeah, I'd like to get 3 of them.
Okay. So we'll say that the cost of the obsidian will include the cost of the carving. So you would have to go to stonemason, which you can do. We won't RP that. So you find the stonemason in town. There's quite a reputable stonemason in Voland. Most of that type of profession is found in Voland anyway. Stonemasons, woodcarvers, jewelers, all that sort of stuff. It's the capital city, so there's a lot. All the best of these professions are generally found here. So you track down the stonemason. You give him your request, and he says it'll probably take him a day to be able to carve the runes that you want into the obsidian, and it will cost the 300 gold. So just mark off the 300 gold, and you now have the ability to cast that spell 3 times. Anyone else want to do anything this day? Nope.
If no one else wants to do anything, Het will catch up with Fiala and offer to take her out for a lunch.
Okay. Got that, Alshanners.
I want to talk to Siddiq.
Then go talk to him. Talk to
Where are you?
him.
Where is he?
You're all in the guild hall at this point.
All right,
You've all
all
come down for the morning. You're all sort of sitting around having breakfast, discussing what you're going to do for the day.
Siddiq, you don't have any ranged weapons, do you?
I do have this bow on my back.
What's the
Is-
bow?
The Corpse Slayer bow, which is good against undead. Why?
It's just I've got 2 items up in my room currently not being used. I have a vicious longbow and I have the blazing bowstring.
Hmm.
Do you think you can make use of them?
What's the vicious longbow? Like, what's so vicious?
Essentially, from memory, the vicious longbow, if you roll, gives you a crit roll on a roll of 19.
Ah, okay.
From memory.
So it's lower crit range.
It's a +1 as well. So it's a +1 bow, but I'm pretty sure it gives. Actually, it might be an insta death on a natural 20. I can't remember.
When you roll a d20 on your attack roll this magic weapon, the target takes an extra 7 damage of the weapon type.
Well, I
So
guess that,
+7 damage. Yeah.
yeah, I guess that would probably help against Josus if he decides to fly away.
And what I would allow for that being that is just a natural 20, a +7 on a natural 20, is you could couple that with the blazing bowstring. So the blazing bowstring could be used with the vicious long.
Okay.
And the vicious longbow is, well, the vicious bowstring is 1d8 plus 1d10 burn damage, I believe.
Yeah, so it's a standard arrow damage was 1d8. Plus you get the fire damage of a d10 on top of it when you. How many does it have charges? Trash?
Yeah, three times a day.
Yeah, so 3 charges per long rest,
Per day,
basically,
yeah.
or per 24 hours. It's all on D&D Beyond if you want to check it out and make your decision.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the vicious longbow right now. Yes, sounds like a good idea. Yes, that's the one. I'll take them off your hands. I can give this one back to Forum. Right. Yeah.
Or use the blazing bowstring for that bow.
I don't think you can use a blazing bowstring on Corpse Slayer
Okay.
because
Yeah,
the blazing
no.
bowstring takes attunement.
Yeah, I think it does.
So, yeah,
And
so
so does Corpse Slayer.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you could possibly use them both together if you were wanting to use the attunement slots, but that, again, that's up to you depending on what else you have attuned.
Nah. I'd have to give up one or the other to have both.
So you guys make those decisions and just, again, mark stuff off your inventory, add stuff to your inventory based on what you've discussed. And Morris,
Yes.
your plans.
I'm going to go over and see Breton and get some training in.
So with that, we do you excuse yourself from your team and tell them what you're up to? Talk to them.
No, I'm just going to say to them, right, guys, I'm just going to go and see if I can get some strength back. I'm just going to go and do some training over with the guard. I'm going to go and see Breton.
Okay. You don't need us to go with you?
Unless you want to come along for some sparring, you'd make quite a fun person to hit.
I'll come along.
Okay.
Are you all going to
Come
go?
on.
along?
You're a bit squishy.
if you want to spar, we can spar. I don't
That'd
care,
be good.
You guys do know that you do have a small training ground at the guild house, so you probably don't need to go to the city guard
Yeah.
to train. There is
And
a small training ground which has a couple of training dummies and a roped off dirt area which would be not unlike a boxing ring. Be for unarmed combat. So there is a bit of a training ground at the guild house where a lot of the guildies do go and spend some time sparring and training.
Yeah, but that's actually what I'd say. So you know, if you want to train, so there's a great big yard out the back that it hardly gets used anymore because there's no one ever here.
Let's do this.
Go.
Okay, come on, let's go.
And hit Allie on
Nice
the
one.
back and say,
Nice one hit.
"Time for you to go too."
I'm away.
So you're all heading out the back to help Namaris gain some of her strength back.
Might as well. Sounds like a plan.
And get myself up to some sort of, I don't know, something.
Oh, you want to join into try and do some training as well. So you all head out the back.
Badly.
You all head out the back, and Namaris, you obviously take your weapon out there with you. You've drawn it. You're trying to feel the weight of it, and you're swinging it around, trying to gain back some of the dexterity and strength that you had before. You spend initially you'll go out there and you all take turns on the training dummies, just to sort of try and get the feel for things. Namaris, you attack one of the dummies with your sword, and you spend about 40 minutes or so just remembering the parries and the strikes, stuff that should come naturally to you. And at first it was a little rusty. It looked a little uncoordinated and it felt a little uncomfortable wielding this sword. It was heavier than it used to be, but after sort of half an hour or so, it started to become more natural. The movement began to flow better, and after a little bit of time, you thought, right, okay, yeah, I'm ready. Who are you going to challenge in your first sparring session?
I think I'll look at Sadiq.
All right. Let's go.
Before we do that, everyone roll a perception check for me. Hit, you don't have to.
Am I there or am I in town still?
Oh,
You would have probably come back by this point. You would have headed off in the morning and come back. You would have come back and sort of, where's everyone? And Seth would have told you they were out the back, and you would then join them. So, Alessandro, what's your perception check?
15.
15?
14.
Sadiq. 14. Sadiq.
giant 6.
6. Fiala.
14 as well.
14. So, Alessandros and Fiala, you both notice a large rock out the back, and there is something carved on it. Het, would you explain what they see on this particular piece of masonry? What was your Namara? Sorry, I forgot about you.
Sorry, Namaris.
11.
You're probably too busy just outside the DC. And you and Sadiq are focused on what you're doing, so you guys probably don't notice it.
And so Het is overwatching as well, but what they see is it's part of the building. It's like a rock face where like one of the pillars that holds the building up, and in quite large, about a meter high by about 2 to 3 meters long, is carved in eloquent what would you say, like it's like a nice type font, I suppose, calligraphy, that's the word I'm looking for, is it says Yildri and / Fiala, and it's got like vine work and all that around the outside. It's very obvious.
It's obvious that you got no idea who carved it, however.
So we don't recognize the penmanship?
No, oh hell no! It's just carved calligraphy.
Just my name.
It's just your names in this large thing. I mean, he's probably standing. Where would you be standing in relation to this? Next to it or away from it?
No, we all came out to watch the fighting, and
Okay, so you're probably sitting down here.
yeah, Het would have thought maybe done it a few days earlier when we first arrived.
No problem. So you probably got you wouldn't know who's done it, but you definitely both notice it.
With that, I look at Fiala, I look at the rock, look at Fiala. What?
That's either the most romantic thing or the most creepy thing I've ever seen, depending on who did that.
Perfect. And while you contemplate that, you guys, Fiala, Alessandros, and Het, you're all sitting. It's probably, I would imagine there'd be probably some wooden benches and stools around the outside of the fighting or training grounds, training arena, and almost like bleachers, kind of like stacked steps a little bit to watch people spar. So you watch as both Sadiq and Namara square up in the middle of this little round roped off area, both with their swords drawn. This is not a combat to the death. This is just a combat of strikes again. So we will be 5. Literally, the first one to strike their opponent 5 times will win the battle. So it's basically we'll roll initiative between you two, and it'll be the first to hit their opponent 5 times. So both of you roll initiative, please.
15.
Both got 15. What's your dex modifiers?
+2.
You should have your sheet.
+1.
You should have your sheet open. So Sadiq,
I've
you will
got my
strike
sheet
first.
open and my Skype on the same screen. So.
Oh, we have them on different screens. Put your Skype on the other one instead of watching weird Facebook videos. So
Facebook.
it was a weird Facebook video with someone jiggling, trying to put pants on.
Hello.
It's weird, man.
I want to pass a gold at Allie and say, my money's on Namars.
Hey, if you want to bet on it, you can bet on it between yourselves.
Het passes 5 gold to Ellie and says, "My money's on Sadiq."
What Wait, why are we giving the road gold again?
Oh, I thought that was what you
Apparently
did.
That's what we do.
Yes, it's what you guys have always done, given the thief in the group all the cash. So with that, Sadiq, you get the first attack roll. So just attack, just a d20 plus your attack modifier. That's all we need.
Alright, so Namaris would also notice that I'm using a different great sword than normal.
You are? Which one are
Okay.
you
Yeah,
using?
I'm using the Dragon Slayer
Dragon Slayer Greatsword.
just to swing it around a little bit.
Cool.
So that would be a whole 12 to hit.
Does that hit Namaris? It does
Nope.
not. So you, Sadiq, you both read yourselves. You look at Namaris and go, right, you ready? She goes, yep, I'm ready. And you strike. And she parries you. She's very quick, even though she's spent a lot of time not with a weapon and definitely does not look as strong as she once was. She's still pretty quick on her feet, and she manages to parry the blow with the first strike. Namaris, your attack now, return attack to Sadiq, as you parry his first attack.
19.
That does hit
So
Sadiq,
that's a hit. Yep.
and she parries the blow and then brings the weapon back round and cracks you in the ribs, not with enough force to cause any double or get through your armor, but enough she just hits you on the armor purposely. And you think, oh crap, definitely she got me. Basically 1 point to Namaris. So Sadiq, back to you.
Oh, that's going to be a hit. 23.
That does hit, and you return, and you spit as you take that shot. You sort of give her a nod of recognition, but then you spin and bring your sword around and just tap her on the rear with the flat of your blade. Let her know that she's not quite as quick as she once was. One apiece. Namaris.
That's going to miss 13.
That does miss. Namaris, you stumble a little bit as Sadiq taps you on the rump with the flat of his blade, takes you a little bit by surprise, and you attack, not out of anger, but just out of frustration, and you misjudge your attack. Back to you. Still one apiece.
30, 20.
That does hit. And once again, Sadiq, you ready yourself, you step in and strike her just on the upper shoulder. Again, not enough force to do any damage. Just it's basic sparring. So you're just tapping each other to form a hit. So it's 2-1 to Sadiq. Namaris.
Also a dirty 20.
That's it.
Namaris takes the attack and goes one-handed on her broadsword, which is something you haven't seen her do before, and swings around behind her head and comes back and just taps you on the shoulder, on the opposite shoulder, bringing back to a two-handed stance. It's 2 apiece. Sadiq.
Ooh, 27.
That
Ooh,
return. You mimic her movement in this. You watch what she did and you think, yeah, interesting, let's try that. And you tap her on the opposite shoulder. 3-2 to Sadiq. Namaris.
24.
That's a hit.
3-3. Namaris returns, moves in such a way and taps you on the upper thigh, left-hand thigh. Sadiq.
24.
24. 4-3. 4-4. 4-3. 4-3 to Sadiq. As another attack gets through your defenses. Namaris.
11.
That does miss. You misstep and over lunge, and Sadiq manages to step past you. 4-3 Sadiq. Sadiq, this will be your final attack. 16. Does that hit? You step as she steps through and stumbles. You step and you tap her on the back of the shoulder as she steps through. And Namaris, you concede defeat.
I swing around and I grab him by the arm and shake his hand.
And I shake back and go, yeah, you're getting there.
Yeah. Not
Quite
bad.
ready. Getting there.
So with that, Namaris, you find that you are a little winded, more so than what you should be, but you feel good at the same time. You feel that a few more days you should be ready, not back to 100%, but you'll be ready to join your friends in any kind of battle that they may encounter.
And I want to make a suggestion to her that maybe she needs to tie some weights to her sword so she can get, used to swinging in it a little bit more.
All right.
And with that, Namaris, do you spend? You can, if you want to, you can spend the next few hours just training with the dummies and with
Yeah.
Sadiq. Like, for the sake of the story and roleplay, we don't want to roleplay the whole thing, but over the course of the next 3 or 4 hours, you all take turns at helping Namaris build her strength. Het and Fiela, being the magic casters in the group, you throw some harmless spells in her general direction to get her used to being attacked by spells again. Fiela, you use entangling roots and things like that to potentially just help her out with just different things, right? Trying to get her prepared for what may come. By this time, we're heading into lunch, sort of lunchtime, and you were wanting to take Fiala out for lunch or something, weren't you?
Yeah, something to that effect. It was just suggest to her that maybe Fiala, maybe we get away just on our own for today. We got a couple more days in town here to spend with the group. Let's have a feed, at our favorite bar that we sort of get away to, the one that's far away that we've been to once.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Nice to take a break.
Excellent. I will pay.
Good, because I think I ran out of gold.
Did you? Oh, you lost gold because Sadiq won. Yes, sorry about that. I was pretty confident. I could see Namaris is not herself.
I'll win it back.
Yeah, I mean, you could just turn into a dragon and kill everyone at the bank and take what you want.
I don't want to
Did
do
I
that
overhear
again.
that?
Depends on whether Het wanted to do this more privately or in open earshot of the rest of you guys. This would have
Probably.
been towards the end of your sparring session and training with Namaris. So,
Yeah, probably private because he wants to take her away for lunch without all the others.
no, you wouldn't have heard that.
Because my response would have been, so what?
Het was just joking around.
So with that, you guys make plans to head out for a luncheon date. And that is where we'll take 5 minutes, guys. We will take a short break. We shall be right back after these messages.
that's right. I'll just make it like, oh shit, you just got caught in a fireball and your head wrap is on fire.
Exactly. There's so many ways around it.
Unfortunately, it's a magical
And we
item,
are
so
back.
Ah,
We're back.
Ah,
yay.
That's if you follow the rules, eh?
And this is the thing. I mean, this is the thing with D&D, especially 5e or any D&D really. The rules are a guide. You cannot make mistakes in Dungeons and Dragons. You set your house rules. You make rules on the fly. As long as you're consistent in what you do, then it's not wrong. Again, looking at what we do with the potions, we've set a rule to say that potions do maximum amount of healing. That's not wrong. It's different. It's different than someone else may run their rules, but it's a rule that we've chosen and agreed upon, so therefore we stick to it. Yes.
guess who went boom?
We went boom. I didn't go boom. Sadiq went boom.
Sadiq gets crashed.
Sadiq went boom. Oh no. We will wait for Sadiq. How you doing, chat? We just got to wait for Sadiq. Sadiq has crashed, so he will be back momentarily. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or want to discuss anything, so we were just talking about off camera and coming back into camera about D&D and the rule set, and that even though there is a basic rules and there's a Dungeon Master's Guide and all that sort of stuff, the rule set is not set in stone. It is a guide for DMs and players alike that you take these rules, take a look at them. Okay, that rule works for us. That rule works for us. There are certain, obviously, spells that have a specific designation or design, which you follow with the books. But ultimately, if you set rules as a dungeon master with your players, like with your session 0, you go through and you discuss house rules and what you want to do differently. As long as everyone agrees and still has a good time, then it's not wrong. You can't really make mistakes per se in D&D. You can make mistakes in the respect that you can allow a character to do something that they probably really shouldn't be able to do. But then if you're consistent with it, if a player can do it, so can your creatures from a DM's perspective. Or if your creatures can do it, so can your players. So that's where you've got to be careful, I think, with certain things that you want to do, is allowing, you can't have a creature that can, a humanoid creature that can run up walls as if gravity doesn't exist, and not allow your players to do the same thing, basically. Unless that creature has an inherent ability to do that, like spider climb or something like that. So, but it's just all about being consistent.
On a side note, Mr. DM, did you see the link I put up a couple of days ago?
In the Discord?
Yes, in the Dungeons and Dragons.
For the rings? Is it the ring?
Mm-hmm.
I want one.
Oh, the dice ring. Yeah, that. I don't know how well that would work, eh?
From what I've seen, really well.
I'll chuck the link in the chat so everyone else can have a look. So, chat, there's a link there if you want to go check that out. There's a dice ring, which
Doesn't that hurt?
I know. Is it? I'm not entirely sure how it would work, but
Have you ever seen the rings with the spinners on them?
Oh, I just mean him putting a dice in your ring.
Oh,
of course.
We're doing
Someone
that.
had to say it.
I
Sorry.
took the bait.
You can
There must
clip
be
that one too,
freewheeling
Drax, if you
spinner.
want. I know he's there. He's probably already done it.
Not even part of the game.
No.
Chat, I deserve luck for being naive, chat. I'm just saying.
That's pretty cool.
On that note, chat, don't forget your channel points at the bottom underneath your chat bar. Click on the gold coin. You've got a few things that you can do with interacting with the chat. You can offer the player of your choice and the DM, as it turns out, I've decided. If the players can get it, so can the DM. You can offer luck or inspiration. So just check out the channel points here. All you got to do to get channel points is to watch and interact with the chat. The more you chat, obviously if you follow, sub, and all that sort of stuff, you get bonus points. If you raid with us, you get bonus points. All that sort of stuff. But your channel points can be used to offer luck and inspiration to a player of your choice. You can do the posture check. You've got highlight a message. You've got unlock an emote. So if you are not subbed, and we get a natural 20 or a natural 1, you can still unlock that emote and spam that emote with the rest of the subs as well by using your channel points. We also have one there, which is an NPC name generator, where you redeem that and then you DM me in the Discord, race name and class, and I will add that NPC to the game. Michelle used that feature last week, and instead of giving me a random NPC, she decided to give me the name, race, and class of a character she created, which is why I dropped her in it this evening and made her play that character. So, but that is essentially what happened. We do have a character coming up, which I did introduce last week, which was Leondogus Orinthia, which was one that Baz created for me the week before. So he gave me a class, a race, and a name, and that NPC is now created and has been put into the game. And the players will eventually meet this character and interact with that character at some point. We've had a couple more.
But it's not a character of mine, so I don't have to play it.
Exactly, it is an NPC, which was what the channel points was for, an NPC. How you doing, Magic? Yeah, Magic's always lurking on Sundays, always hangs out with us. Long-time supporter of me, helped me out greatly when I was over on Mixer, when I was part of the One Team, a long time ago when I first started streaming over there, and has been part of my community for a long time now. And we support Magic as much as we can as well. So,
your favorite Scotsman?
No, that's not that one. That's Moody. That's Moody Gamer.
It?
Magic's my favourite Aussie.
Oh.
Yeah, you, sir, can go.
Oh, shit, that's right. I forgot you guys are all Australian too. Damn. Too many Aussies. But Magic is a fellow content creator and does a lot of RPGs. Does, what was the other one? The music one. Not Rocksmith, the other one.
Yeah, I love that one.
Every Thursday night used to do that. I'm not sure he's still doing it, but so mods, can we get a shout out for Magic? Oh, he did. Trashy, well done, thank you. I didn't see that until just now. But yeah, so Magic's cool, dude. Go hang out with him if you can. Chuck him a follow. Support him as much as he supported us. So with that, we will return to our story and pick up where we left off with Fiala and Het heading out for lunch.
Just a side note, while that's going on, I'm going to go see Coram and give
Okay.
you that.
We can do that. We can... Alessandros and Namaris, what are you guys going to be doing while Sadiq, Fiala, and Het leave the guild house in their respective tasks?
I'm going to keep training.
You're going to keep training?
Yeah.
So you're both going to keep training? Awesome.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, Namaris, with that, if you train for the remainder of this day, we will remove your disadvantage on your dexterity checks and abilities.
Okay.
So it'll be just for the strength. Anything strength related will be at disadvantage until further notice. So it's again sort of just part of your training. How we've worked out your training. With that, we then follow Het and Fiala as you head out for a meal. Where were you headed for your lunch?
I can't remember the name of that fancy place we went to last time.
The Dragon Tavern, I believe it was called.
Because it makes sense, doesn't it, with us, with
It kind of does with all. Both of you.
And that is where we head to.
I will just find, and I believe it was in the Dragon Farthing too, which makes it even funnier. Dragon Farthing, part of Voland.
This feels right.
Actually, no, it wasn't.
Sure does.
It wasn't in the Dragon's Farthing. It is in Ravensthorn district, I believe. When I find it.
Either way, we will get there, and Het will pay for the best seat to keep us away from the other patrons.
It's in the Tome Ward, sorry. So it's in the one of the southernmost parts of the city. And yeah, so you get there. The owner of the tavern greets you and shows you to a discreet table away from the rest of the patrons.
Het orders the meal and lets Fiona. This time we won't do the, you eat meat, I eat vegetable thing. We'll just keep it,
You sure?
100%. And we order up, and then, yes, Het would like to say to Fiona, and he will. So how are you faring now? We're back in Valond here. Feeling better? Things are good? Looking forward to the next part of our journey?
Well, I'm kind of very angry. I guess it's kind of maybe how you felt when you found out your parents were killed. You just wanted that anger, that vengeance. You just want to finish it, kind of thing.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm going through. How are you? Are you doing better? Since, I don't know, you found out I was a dragon? Because you were a bit upset.
Yes, I think we have worked through that reasonably well. It was more the shock of not knowing, I guess. Thinking you were one thing when you were really another, but personality-wise, things have not changed, so it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I kind of always had this personality. Can't get rid of it after a couple centuries.
Oh, hey, earlier on today, watching Sadiq and Namara's fight, did you see my sign on the wall?
Oh, that was you! Oh, well, then it is the most romantic thing I've ever seen. Thank you.
Yes, or one of the most perverse if it wasn't me.
How did you get it so big? Magically, or did you just actually climb up there?
Oh, no, it's something I used to do when I was younger. I did a lot of rock carving. I carry mason's tools in my pack, and every now and then I just, when, I guess being a bard, we don't just have to be singers and songwriters. It's artistic in all sort of forms, really.
Yeah. Well, I guess the whole town kind of will know I'm Yeldrin now if they go out back. Really.
Well, I forget that was a thing that seemed to be everyone knew anyway, right?
Yeah, everyone knows.
I wasn't trying to give it away. I was just trying to, at first I started carving Fiela, and then I was like, oh, but this isn't the real you. And so I did the old, slash, and then it just seemed to work.
You should have put your name up there.
Well, I was going for the, Fiela / Yildri for Het, but then this dude come along and I was like, oh, hang on, and I got down and got out of there. Sort of, yeah. I did it sort of on the cusp of, day meeting night, and it's not really something we're supposed to do, right? To face the property. It was a little rebellious.
Isn't it our property, though? Kind of.
We didn't pay for it, but we're running it, I suppose. If that was one of the students, I probably would have gone, hey, whippersnapper, get out of there.
Whippersnapper.
Yeah, something. It's what the humans say.
So, what about Thorfinn? What do you think of that? Going to get him, and how do you think he's gonna feel?
That's a good question. Assuming he is still alive. Did we find out whether he was still alive, DM? I can't remember.
All you know from the information that Garrick gave you guys is that there is a possibility he has been sighted at this keep or abandoned castle-ish type place. They didn't say whether it was him specifically. They just said that he's possibly there.
Okay.
So you're not 100% sure whether he's alive, dead, whatever. It's just it was quite vague, but it was just a possible sighting.
I have a bit of a confession I probably should tell you. That after I did what I did to the Namaras, I sent a note to Thorfinn. So I don't know if he's gonna be upset at us or happy to see his daughter again.
Oh, that's a good point. I guess we all thought she was gone, right?
Yeah. But he knows I killed the, unless he doesn't know it's a doppelganger. He knows I killed, so just a heads up.
Okay. I guess we will have to play that as it happens, assuming we find him alive. For Namaris' sake, it would be nice if we do. She could do with a bit of good news, I suppose. She's been down and out for quite some time, and now she's trying to get herself back on task, I suppose.
What are you gonna do after you kill Kosis?
I don't know. What would you like to do?
Well, I don't want to be down, but I was thinking if things don't go well, since I'll probably be targeting most of Kosis' attacks, you could keep my lair and kind of look out for Allie for me if you guys make it and I don't.
I will respect that wish. However, I believe you will be fine.
Yeah.
I think it will be the smaller of us that will be hurt much quicker than you.
Well, not if I can help it. So, you always attack the biggest thing.
Well, we'll just make a pact. I keep you up, you keep me up, and then that is good. We will, between us, heal the others.
All right.
No one dies. That makes good sense.
Yeah. Do you have any plans? Are you going back?
I did want to visit my home once it is safe to do so. At this point, I want to pay my respects, of course, but at this point I fear going back will only endanger the rest of the village. Even with Cass dead, Kosis is still a problem.
So, what's the name of the bar we were at with the flutist? The Squirrel and Hydra
Squirrel and Hydra, yeah.
was really nice last night, don't you think?
Yes, it was. It was good to see an old stomping ground. I when you guys went to bed, I did give you a little lesser restoration just to try and help the drinking. You were pretty slammed, but you deserved it. You needed to get loose. It was good to see you letting go a bit.
Loose, yes.
I know, I don't mean that in a bad way.
Everyone needs to get loose every once in a while.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good.
And with
to
that,
know.
we will switch. While things start to get a little awkward, we will switch over to Neymaris and Alessandros, who are still training. Is there anything you guys wish to discuss while you're training? As you continue your sparring with Alessandros, who is very quick, a lot quicker than you are, but you're obviously, even in your lesser states, are still a lot stronger than she is. But you go back and forward, different things. You attack and dodge and parry, and Allie shows you some of her newly found skills. Not able to shadow step, however, she does explain that she has the ability to, in the shadows, ability to move very quickly. And yeah, so is there anything you guys want to discuss between each other while you are sparring?
No, just keep sparring.
Nope.
You guys are
No.
terrible.
I know, we suck.
You guys.
Not enough breath to talk. Sorry, let's just keep hitting shit.
And each other every once in a while.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try and whack you, and I'll probably miss a couple
We
of
could
times.
always do a
so
spar. I mean,
We could.
We could,
We'll do
okay.
that.
We
We'll
could
do-
literally go and do a spa. Should we go and?
Do
Come on, let's do this.
it.
I love it. So
There's a really good chick there that does your nails really nicely. Let's go and have a girls' afternoon. Shh, let's not tell anyone.
considering Alessandros looks like a boy, that'd be quite funny.
Shit.
There's one thing you before, actually you were changed into your male form before Neymaris left, so
I'm sorry, but she'll always be a she to me.
and with that, I turn into the face she remembers when we started. Is this more accommodating?
Is that going to get you in trouble if we go out in public?
Possibly.
Let's not do that then.
It shouldn't do.
No?
The charges were dropped, so
Alright.
In certain Alshon, as you would know, in a specific town in the realms, that face would probably not be a good idea. But here in Beyond,
I
you would
suppose with
probably,
all the hustle and bustle and all
Yeah.
that.
in a large city
Let's
like
go.
this, it probably wouldn't be so much of a problem.
I reckon
All
we
right,
should.
let's go do it.
Let's go do a girls' afternoon. We've had enough of this sweating.
So with that, you finish your sparring session. You head off to find a bathhouse that is not the guild house. I mean, it's a little bit more upmarket and a bit more pamperish. Now, Maris, you don't have any gold at this point, so
I'll pay for everything.
it will cost a probably, but for the two of you, it'll probably cost about 50 or 60 gold because it'd be a relatively upmarket place. But if the party treasurer would like to impart some of the party funds onto Namaris, that is more than suitable as well. But you don't have anything at this point. But at the end of this day, we will add basic equipment or list. You'll get a pack, rations, water skin, and all that. Just a basic adventurer's pack. So you can add that at any time at the end of this day.
Awesome. As long as
I'll
I've got my.
I'll pay for whatever Namaris needs.
Okay,
or
so
wants.
for your pampering, your manicure, pedicure, your bathing, your probably a massage and all the rest of it, we'll run you 60 gold. So just mark that off. It's relatively cheap for you guys. I mean, you guys have established yourselves in the city of Beyond now as the heroes of this realm. You are relatively well known, even though your face. What face are you taking? You're going to go back to the female form, the form of a Beth. So even in that form, people recognize who you are. They, although they haven't seen a Beth's form for quite some time, they recognize their Maris, even though she hasn't been around for some time. Some recognize it, some not. But the guild seal still affords you some benefits as well. Sadiq has taken off and headed over to the opposite side of the city to talk to Coram to return the corpse slayer's bow. He will be gone for a little while, but we'll then, with that, travel back to the Dragon Tavern with Het and Fiala as you continue your lunch. Probably getting towards the end of your meal by this stage. Been chatting backwards and forwards about possible futures and what's happening next.
Does Het, when Fiala mentioned the bar we were at last night, did Het get a feeling she was withholding or maybe concerned about something else?
Roll insight.
That will be, oh, that's not too bad. 19.
What were you pushing towards with that statement, Fiala?
I think we all know I was trying to see if what he feels about what's her face.
You definitely get the tinge of jealousy in her tone. And you get the impression she may have seen your interaction with Nalessa. And you're intelligent enough to know what may have occurred at that point.
Ildri, if it will settle this uneasiness you feel, Nalessa, the girl from the Squirrel and Hydra, are you upset by her?
I think we both know a jealous dragon's not a good thing. So, I mean, she looks at you kind of with something in mind, I think.
She's a lovely lady and she plays music really well. She needs to perhaps attend the college and learn some more, but she has been just a person we saw once and twice in the Squirrel and Hydra. We played some music and that is all. There is nothing for you to be concerned about. When Het puts his mind to one thing, that is the one thing he keeps his mind on.
Ah.
If you wish to roll insight, it's completely up to you at this point.
17.
He's being 100% truthful.
What exactly are we, anyway? I mean, I'm a giant dragon, and you're you.
Giant dragon.
Well, I mean, in the general, I guess we are both somewhat dragonish.
I mean, are we like? I mean, you could probably just go off and actually see other people. I mean, we're not really. Are we? What are we?
I thought when you choked me that time, you were trying to let me know that you owned me and I was your property.
So
You know,
you're my. You like my Killick, or?
I feel like we had a back and forth maybe in your room at some stage where we were maybe somewhat of an item. That's what the others seem to think.
We did go back and forth in my room. Yes.
Yes.
But. So we're dating, or yeah. So we're dating, right? We're.
Yeah, I mean, I dating. I thought maybe we were even a step further than that at this point. But
Oh,
it's up to you. Absolutely, you. I mean, you could kill me with a swipe of your tail.
I'm not threatening you to date me. Unless,
No,
I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I do like a bit, but the point more is I was just joking. No, Hit thought that as far as he was concerned, he was only dating one person, and that one person was you. One dragon person, be it as it may.
Okay.
As long as that's, I mean, if you want to see other people, that is fine. I can give you your space.
No, don't really like much. Well, I mean, I love people, but no, I like you more. They're the best. And
That is
this is
good.
getting weird.
Do
I
people
wanna
taste good?
They do. They taste very nice. But, you know.
Definitely, one day, I mean, I'm not going to kill people, but taste of raw meat is good. It would be nice to taste a person, especially the human ones. They irritate me somewhat.
There are very bad humans. I mean, we probably killed bad people, so
There are very bad, a lot of races out there, though.
yeah, so you could probably, after they're just freshly. I don't really want to condone this. I feel like we're going down this road where we can't get back. So,
Hit really was just kidding. He was just trying to see how far Yudri had gone before. Hit feels like maybe we were walking and talking through this too, maybe leaving this place. And how much do I owe the man?
Probably about 10 gold for the meal and drinks and stuff like that. It was a good meal. I'm not sure what you were drinking, but I'd say roughly 10 gold for the both of you.
Excellent. Middle of the day, Hit would have definitely been easy. Lemonade. And so he takes Yildri through the, elbow to elbow, and he says, "Come on, Yildri, I shall lead us back. Where would you like to go? Somewhere else, or back to the others?"
I'll let you lead. I mean, we can do whatever. We have time. I think the other two
It's
are.
probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's a reasonably nice day. It is getting towards the end of summer, so the nights are getting longer, and the evenings are getting cooler. But for all intents and purposes, it's a relatively clear day.
For the rest of the day, Hit just takes her on a tiki tour, sort of around a few blocks here and there, so we get back later into the nightfall.
Okay, so you want to
Maybe
head
near
sort of
to-
around maybe the coast of the city of Bellond. You head towards the coastal part of the city, which down the southwestern part of the city there is a series of cliffs that overlook the port and the shipping lanes, which is Het would probably know this, but you would all probably know by this point, being spending as much time in the city as you have on and off. It's just outside the city, but it overlooks part of the coastal district or dock district and the port, and you can see the ships and out over the ocean. Be a
Sweet,
romantic
yeah.
spot.
Just a sightseeing venture with heaps of talking and all that crap.
No problem. With that, we will fade to black and fade back to Sadiq, who has found his way to Corum's estate. The guard allow you in, and Corum's manservant shows you into Quorum's office. After a few minutes, Quorum greets you there. Sadiq, what can I do you for?
I'm just coming to return Corpse Slayer to you.
We had a deal though. You took care of
Well,
Cass, and
yes,
Bo was yours.
Yes, that I did, but at the same time, my next target isn't really suited for him. So I've gotten
Of course.
another bow lined up for that. I'm kind of a man that the right tool for the right job type deal.
Of course, but you do realise that even though Cass has been dispatched, there will still be undead and fiendish.
If I need the bow again, I'll come back and get it. But
There's definitely here, if you need it. Again, a deal is a deal. Technically, the way that I see it is this bow now belongs to you, but I will more than happy to store it here for you.
we'll call it a loan. Yeah,
Of course.
and
And
it's
with
nice
that,
looking. It is a nice looking bow.
it does look good in the collection also. And he takes the bow from you if you hand it to him.
Yeah.
And he then holds it up, whispers an incantation, and you watch the bow lift up into the air and disappear out the door and up the stairs.
Interesting.
It's a small trick I learnt from a friend. It will return back to its resting place, and if you were ever in need, please don't hesitate to visit. Ask.
No worries. You don't have any other like shit. I don't care. Anything that-
I have many items in my collection, but alas, so a lot of those particular items would be far too powerful to be allowed out into the world to possibly fall into the wrong hands.
While I've got you here, I'm going to pull out the Road of Resurrection and
Yes.
say, do you know what this thing actually does?
Yes, I do. I have seen many of these over the years. It is used to bring life to those that have passed.
So it only restores life, or does it,
I
do
believe
other stuff as
I
well?
believe it heals also.
Okay. Might have to go to the
It's gonna be
Shit.
1
the
second.
arcade. Yeah, it does. I've got it in my inventory. I know it does, but meta gaming. The
It is.
I might have-
It has limited charges, of course, but
Because
as long as you have it, I mean, you don't even have to be a magic user to use its ability. It does heal, and it does resurrect the dead. And it's not like the what is the spell called? It's not a revivify. It is an actual resurrection spell. So the target can be dead for longer before you bring them back. A century, I believe, it's 100 years or so.
Yeah, it's just that the person I would be giving this to has a necromancy is a no for him.
Of course,
so-
we're talking about Master Het.
Yes.
Yes. I myself am not averted to necromancy. In fact, necromancy is probably the mainstay of my abilities. But
We wouldn't say that to Het.
no. I'm sure Het is intelligent enough to realise what I am capable of. But yes, necromancy is a lot more tolerated in the realms of paradigm as of late. This will change in the future. We are looking at restricting the necromantic abilities somewhat in the months and years to come. Obviously, dealing with current issues first, but that is the goal. I myself, with what I know of necromancy and what it can do, understand all too well its power and its downfalls also. the art of bringing one back from the dead has always been a talking point amongst clerics and paladins. While it does serve a purpose, they do not always come back the same. There are
Yes.
always a consequence.
Yes,
Always.
that's the thing that Head keeps on saying. I've never actually asked him what happened, but I've got the feeling something happened.
I have. I don't know that he has experienced anything personally. He may have, I'm not sure. But I can tell you from my own experiences with those coming back from the dead, sometimes they seem fine, they seem okay. Then some develop a minor affliction, a tick, a nervous disposition. Others display more extreme negatives after returning from the dead. Others still come back completely insane and generally have to be put down once again. It is not a spell that I wish to use myself. I have the ability to do so, but I choose not to these days. Many years ago we did several, quite freely, however, but I've seen too many of people I know and care about change.
I got the feeling that being pulled back from whatever is on the other side would be a pretty big shock to the system as well.
Yes, and we also have to understand too that there are other forces at work here too. The Raven Queen, who takes care of the dead. Well, she's not wanting to see someone who has passed over be returned after being touched by her. I mean, it is not natural to have that happen. So she does not see kindly such things unless, of course, it serves her needs. There are other forces in this as well. Another deity that I know of personally, a deity by the name of Kimosh. Not exactly the most nice guy, shall we say. He also deals with the dead, making promises that will very rarely keep. But
Sounds like a prick.
they never return the same either.
Yes.
Believe me, it's
Well,
taken me a century or two to release myself from his clutches.
He was your deity.
He was, yes, once upon a time.
Uh,
Fortunately for me, my ancestry allows me to live on a lot longer than most, which gave me the time that I needed to free myself from its grasp. And unfortunately, because of the hold he had on me, led me into the arms of Asmodeus and allowed me to be influenced by him.
Makes sense.
Once again, 2 centuries have passed since that has happened, and it's taken me that long to restore myself to where I am today. Believe me, it is not so easy to influence me these days.
That's good. Alright. See you around. I'm gonna
All
go.
the best. Garrick has visited to you and given you the information, I assume?
Yes. We've got to meet a contact of his. She's a very interesting person. Can't wait.
Of course. I say time is not a factor in these things. I would actually suggest that you plan carefully before heading out. Make sure you know exactly what you're getting yourselves into. We are
not
on
really how we work.
we are on a little bit of a time crunch as you know, the blood moon will be the time at which Kosas will start his attack on the city. We're still making preparations to fortify the city, but we do need to eventually start heading out and drawing people to the city. We need to get as many of the outlying villages and some of the outlying cities into the city walls. We do need to accommodate for that, and obviously fighting fit individuals need to be recruited also. But we're working on that tirelessly. Your focus as our champions, as you've been dubbed, is firstly deal with the Fang leadership, sort that out, and then hunt down the rogue council members.
Yeah, that one's going to be fun.
It's yes, fun is probably not the word I would use, but interesting nonetheless. But it needs to be done. And Garrick tells me that Thorfinn has possibly been sighted also. We need to determine what has happened to him, whether he still lives, if he does, why and how he came to leave us. He has left a large gap in our abilities on the magic front. I mean, we do have many capable mages, but he is extremely powerful and is definitely missed preparations that we are making.
That makes sense. But I'll let you do your thing. I'm going to go.
Bid you good afternoon.
Yep, you too.
And he, you get up and you leave. With that, we then come back to the guild house where you all, after what you were doing, return. Sadiq, you probably get back before anybody else at this point. Alessandros and Namaris, you then return after your bathing session, feeling much refreshed and very prettified with your manicure and pedicure and your massage and everything else. You get back probably around dinner time. So, Fiala and Het, I would assume that you would get back probably a little later than that, probably right around dusk. Would get back to the guild house. Whether you've stopped for a meal on your way back is up to you, or whether you decide to eat at the guild house after everybody else. But you do return. Is there anything you all wish to achieve before evening takes you on another epic adventure in the realms of Voland?
I'm gonna go see Het and give him the rod and say, now, yes, part of this rod is what you don't like, but part of it is something that you do. It can heal. So I'm thinking for the battle ahead, we're going to need the big guns when it comes to some of the heals. So giving this to you, because you seem to be the more slipperier one and stay out of danger the best.
Het looks at Sadiq and he says, "This is the Rod of Resurrection, and it can heal."
Yes. Limited, but it can heal. And apparently anyone could use it, but as I said, you're going to be in the background and you have the most success at staying out of trouble.
It is what I do best. It is with a heavy.
Look, after the battle's done and dusted, you can do whatever the hell you like with it, but I highly suggest you keep it for the battle that is coming.
Sadiq, may I ask you a question? I will take it, thank you. But may I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Are you afraid of dying?
No. But if I can stay alive, I'm more happier.
That's a fair answer. I think everyone wants to stay alive as long as they can. All right. I will use the healing properties of this wand. That is all I can promise.
Well, technically, once you start using the healing, you won't be able to use the other half anyway.
Ah, I see. It uses the charges from one, replacing the other.
Yes.
I believe so, yes.
It's got 5 charges, and it takes 5 charges to resurrection, so...
That makes more sense to me. All right, Sadiq, you have convinced me to carry this weapon.
not really a weapon.
It is if when you raise
It's
something from
small.
the dead with it, it comes back as a demon.
Pickle.
Well, yeah, but technically,
I'm with you. It's good. I will. And Hit puts it in his pack, and he says, "I shall save it for our time of need."
yep. Hopefully that's not tomorrow.
I would hope not, especially if you fall out, in the street, in the gutter, and need healing. I would just use a regular heal.
Yeah, so this, I think the rod is more of a, oh, I've just cut my arm off type healing.
Yes. Why would you cut your own arm off, Sadiq? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, I go to, swing the sword and it's slicked with blood and slides off and slides my arm. Oh, shit happens in war.
If you cut your own arm off with a sword, you need more training, more than Namaris needs more training.
Good point.
It's okay. Hit is just, toying with you a bit.
Oh, how about this then? I could accidentally take off my toe, big toe.
You do have big feet. They can get in the way.
Yes, they can.
I also have big feet.
Yeah, well,
Yes, I
compare
might.
the feet.
We can all see you looking down at your phone, lady. You
So-
forget you're on camera.
So, Sadiq, I am happy to take this now. And is there anything you wish of me? Would you like the flask of many oils, or the one with the ice demon in?
No, you can. Oh, actually,
The alchemy
Right.
flask. I mean, it could be right for you to use at any stage.
yes. Well, we were doing holy oil with that, which I highly suggest we continue doing because there's still undead out there that need destroying.
Okay, yeah, well, the last thing I did with it was exactly that. So, would you like to take more of the holy oil?
I'll take the what was it? It's the alchemist's
Alchemist
Alchemist
flask.
jug.
Yes.
Yeah, Alchemist Jug, I think it's called.
I'll take the alchemist jug off you, and I'll produce oil, and every now and again I'll come to you with some oil that I'll need you to do your little blissy bliss on. And
Excellent. The alchemy jug is yours.
thank you, my friend.
I shall remove it from my backpack and hand it to you just like this.
And
Goodness.
so it is thus so. Anyone else want to achieve anything before sleep this evening?
I want to talk to Namaris.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. And if she's in a room, I'm knocking on the door or whatnot.
Yep. No problem.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
you feeling better?
Today was very good. Had good training and then had a really nice afternoon just being a girl.
I just want you to know that doppelganger that was you. Remember when had that conversation where
Mhm.
we had to kill that? I did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, you know how we were looking for somebody named Yeldry, the white dragon?
Yeah. Did you find her?
Yep, we did.
Oh, cool. Where is she? Where did you have to go very far to find her?
Not really. I'm Yeldry. I was testing you guys to. I know saying it out loud sounds really
You.
unbelievable, but
You're a dragon.
surprise!
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. So you're a dragon.
Yes.
How do you fit in my room?
It's kind of like a true polymorph, but it's a. I don't know if you're familiar with magic.
Okay. Yep. I get magic. I was wondering where you were going with the polywoddy waffling what?
No, I would show you, but we would have to pay a huge bill if I did it in this room. So
Should we go outside? I'd like to see this. Is that right? Can I see
Well,
it?
it's dark,
Is it
and
dark?
there'd be enough room. There'd be enough room in the training ground. You'd know there'd be enough room out there for you to alter your form if you wished.
you want to go for a ride?
The training ground is walled in around the back of the guild house, and it is dark.
I can go for a ride?
If you want. I mean,
Why not?
okay. So we're gonna go down.
So with
Outside.
that, you go downstairs. Do you tell any of the others what you're doing, or you just both walk out without saying anything?
If they're on the way, I'm gonna say I'm telling her we're going for a ride, and like, because they'll know, but nobody else will
they'll
know.
know. So you inform them that you're just gonna go let Namaris. You've told Namaris what is happening, and you're gonna take her for a ride. Might make her feel. So you guys exit the rear of the guild house out into the training yard. Namaris, you watch as Fiona steps out into the centre of the training yard, and before your eyes, her form initially starts to shrink, but then starts to grow, and she slowly forms into a large silvery white dragon. And the sort of cloud, it's a little bit cloudy, but it's a 3/4 moon, and in the moonlight her scales have a real pearlescent sheen to them, but she is
I'm-
absolutely magnificent.
Just want to go over and touch the scales.
Yeah.
And can I talk? Now I'm looking at Fiona and I'm going, can you talk to me, or do we have to do it like? And then I say nothing, but in my head I go like this.
Give like a low rumbling chuckle and like nuzzle her and like, of course I can talk. I'm a dragon. Silly.
I wouldn't have seen dragons before, would I?
No, you've read about them.
No. Yeah.
You've studied them. I mean, you've spent your whole life not to being a soldier. You grew up in the Arcanus, so you've had a certain amount of education that a lot of other soldiers have not. So you know how to read and write. You have read books and stories about dragons. You know that they can talk. You know that they have a level of intelligence that's higher than most humanoid. You've seen drawn pictures and paintings of dragons. So you've never seen one quite of this color. You've seen the white, sort of greyish white dragons, and you've seen the silver dragons. You've never seen a combination of the two. And that's essentially what you're seeing here, is a white dragon with a real silver pearlescent sort of sheen to her scales. So it's a very interesting tip.
So where do I sit?
Are you strong enough to hold on? That's what I'm worried about.
I should be okay.
Okay, you
As long,
can
you know, as long as you're not crazy, she should.
sit on my neck and grab a horn or two. You want?
Grab the horn.
So we're all. Oh.
So I climb on her back
Oh,
and I
just went
grab
bad straight away, didn't it?
It did.
her horns.
Grab on the horns.
Yeah.
And with that, Fiela, in an instant, takes flight. Raises her wings up, and with a single beating of her wings, she lifts 12, 15, 20, 30 feet into the air. The second rush of air lifts 60, 100, 150 feet in the air. Before you know it, you're flying probably 300 or 400 feet in the night sky, flying around the coastline of Valon City. From where you are purchased, it's windy, it's loud. It is a little chilly, but you see a couple of ships that are docked at the Valon City port. You see a couple of ships that have obviously probably left that day and are making their way across the ocean. For about an hour or so, Fiela flies along the coastline, inland somewhat, and then back towards the city. You are amazed at what you can see from up here. It's an amazing feeling to be on the back of this magnificent creature, a creature that's not been seen around the realms of Paradigm for many, many years, through fear of being hunted and killed. Ilzra, you loving it. The freedom of being in your true form once again and soaring through the night skies of realms just fills you with joy, and just that sense of freedom is amazing. Do you do anything acrobatic with Nomaris on your back at this point? Were you being kind?
Can I feel how tightly she's grabbing?
She's got a fairly good grip. You get the sense that she's pretty well secure.
If she's grabbing on, I'll do a little spin, just a little roll to see how she goes. But other than that, I don't want to scare her.
Do you warn her before you do it?
Yeah, I'd like to say, do you want to try a barrel roll with me, or are you?
Is that like your cake?
Yeah, hold on. And I'm gonna do it.
And she's Ildry tells you to hold on.
So
you grip your legs together and you grip onto her spikes / horns on the top of her head a little bit tighter, and she goes into a not a real quick barrel roll, but a slow roll. For a moment you're upside down and you feel like you might fall off, but you just grip on that much tighter and you manage to maintain your grip without too many hassles, as she then turns and spins back and is back right side up. It felt weird to you because you've never flown before, for one, but you do. You're excited. You feel a sense of joy as well, being aboard this great creature. Again, something you've only read about, and it's not a creature that you've seen in your life, only in stories. You've heard about them in stories, you've read about them in books and seen pictures, but never in true life. So it almost feels like a fairy tale somewhat.
Are we going to fight the nothing?
Bad reference. Everyone, so take even face pumped.
With that, I'm gonna just land back at home.
So you heading back towards the city and back towards the guild house, use the cover of the trees to get low, coming into the southeastern edge of the city. And you come in, you hear a couple, as you sort of come over the top of the buildings getting back towards the guild house, you do hear a couple of guards going, "What was that? Did you see that?" And that's all you hear as you then land into the courtyard. And as Nomaris, you disembark the great dragon and stand and turn around. You watch as the dragon form slowly shrinks back into the familiar form of Gala.
That was awesome.
Well, now you know. So.
And it's at this point, Ildry, you would be probably the first to notice it, or hear it, is the alert horn from the city guard sounds in the distance. And you hear a bit of a commotion in the city street. You can't quite make out what they're saying, but you just hear some muffled voices, some shouting, another horn from across the other side of the city, and then a series of horns sound around the city. You get the impression that you've possibly been spotted, and they may have thought it might have been Kosas. With the level of alert in the city, the horns are being sounded throughout the city. You can hear now raised voices from around the city. Some a little bit closer now, saying, "I saw it up in the sky, the shadow. 2 arms." And you're now hearing
the bear all over again.
Well, they didn't. You get the impression that they're not sort of converging on the guild hall, but they're definitely, the city guard has come to high alert. You can see torches being lit off in the distance on the edges of the city wall, as the guard is now seemingly shifting into high alert.
Do the rest of us inside hear the alert alarms?
You all would have heard the horns sound, and everyone's been in the city's been told that the sounding of the guard, these particular horns, is a sign of alert. The first is just a single long sounding, which is basically like a level 1 alert. If you hear the second sounding, which is 2 long blasts on the horn, This is basically raising the alert level to a higher level, which means an attack is probably imminent, and a thrice blown horn is the attack is happening, basically. So all you've heard is a single blast on the city horns, which is sounded around different points of the city at this point.
Okay, so he straight away just pretty much gets 2 Eldritch Blasts in hand and just heads out of the guild house ready, looking around.
No problem. Anyone else react?
Can
I follow suit.
yeah,
No
can
problem.
I feel if Kosis is near, so I know if it's him or just me, so I can tell.
Don't get a sense that he's at hand. So
Oh,
you
it's
probably
me then.
you get the impression that with what you heard flying over, that they've possibly seen you flying overhead and have assumed that it's Kosis, or assumed that it's a dragon. Sadiq, are you following suit with Het and Alessandros?
Yeah, I'll grab the Dragon Slayer sword, and then also, as I'm walking out, go, wait a minute. Didn't Yayla say she was taking the Maris for a ride?
Who'd you say that to?
Oh.
Het and Alessandros?
Het and Ellie.
Head standing there with his 2 Eldritch white glow in his hand. He's like, oh yeah, she did. Oh crap, you don't think she wouldn't
Yeah.
attack? No.
No, I don't think it's that she's going to attack, but
And it's at this point, as you guys are getting ready to head out to the street to see what's happening, Namaris and Fiala re-enter from the rear of the building.
and look at Fiala and go, what did you do?
You two, have fun.
You weren't taking pop shots at guards, were you?
You're muted.
I was gonna say hi. Maybe we should do we just tell the town so they know that don't hit the white one, hit the red one, or should we just let them practice their?
I think just let them practice be the better choice.
It also sounds racist. We can't distinguish like that.
Is it really racist?
All dragons matter.
Hashtag. All Dragon Slayer.
That's right.
But
Oh,
you
wow.
can't judge dragon by its color. Het drops the Eldritch Blast that he had ready. He's like, maybe you guys want to lay low for a bit. I'll go and talk to the guard later on and just let him know. I'll tell him I was looking around.
Look, what we can do is do the whole walk around town looking for the big bad dragon,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
Go.
sounds
Kind of
like an awesome
offended.
idea.
Can't we somehow tell them that we have a dragon on our side? I mean,
No.
yeah, maybe not tonight because they all think that you'll come to eat them all.
okay. And what happens in the final battle when I show up? Are they gonna throw their spears and
We've
ballistas
got
at me?
we've got 3 months to go. By the by, is dragon good? Is dragon bad?
Coram would have also informed you guys that he has plans to introduce Ildry to the city at some point. That's something I did forget to mention.
Yeah, we've
Does this mean we're going to have a great big dragon show? You know, like with the dancers and everything?
I am not on show. I'm going to my room.
I'll follow her.
Oh, you're not going to your room. You're coming out
I feel so levels
patrolling
offended.
for your dragon friends.
So do you
We're
all head
gonna
out to
suffer-
the streets?
You're suffering with us.
Do you head out to the street to aid in the heightened
Yes.
alert level?
Yeah.
So as you
Yeah.
sort of get out to the street, you notice the first thing you do notice is there are several city guard patrols, several pairs of city guards sort of scuttling through the streets, knocking on doors and informing people get inside. Curfew is now in effect. Where we have an alert level. Everyone inside, sort of thing. And as they approach you, one of the city guards says, back inside. Oh, Lions. We're at high alert, or not high alert, just like level 1. We've someone spotted a dragon. They think they're not 100% sure it was like a shadow, but we have alerted the city. We're now doing a perimeter patrol. If you'd like to search the northern perimeter, we're a little short on that side. We still need more guards. If that would be suitable, that'd be good. Thank you. I think.
Yes. Okay. So the northern.
Yes, northern section between the northeastern tower and the northwest towers. It's like a 200-foot thing. You go up the tower and then you can, on the wall. You know how? Yeah, up there, and he's sort of pointing in general direction of the city.
Okay. No worries. Head.
You can see he's a little flustered. He looks like he might be relatively new. City guard as well.
That's okay. Everyone has a first day. Okay, Head. Let's go to the north. You're the keeper of the Grey Skull Compass.
Excellent. I shall bring it along.
And
Go
Head
find
takes out
us
his grey
a
skull.
dragon.
I'm gonna be that person and be like walking by the guards, being like, "Oh, but some dragons are really good. What kind of color was it?" And be that person with the statistics of
We're not sure what color it was. It was just a shadow. But all dragons are bad, are they not?
Oh, they're magnificent.
They just eat people.
I'm gonna point at Het and go. You technically
So
saying
triggered.
that this guy here is bad because he's
That's
part
dragonborn, not dragon.
It's
dragon.
still a
He's a little bit small
dragon.
to eat people. Don't you think?
dragon.
How does
How does
Het
how does
now
Het
be
react to
called a
the-
dragon?
How does Het react to the being called a little bit small?
Hit at first hearing that dragons are bad. He's already got his hackles up because he's been defending a dragon this whole damn time. And he just turns around, bares his teeth and says, "Some dragons are good, others are bad. If you don't know the difference, go and sit in your lounge and think about it."
Firstly,
Calm down, Het.
Fiel is
What-
really turned on
what
right
is
now.
a lounge? The
That
guard,
probably
you
doesn't
can
help
see he's
Het.
nervous already, and he just recoils as Het sort of steps forward and obviously baring teeth and rather angrily speaks out. And you can see he's sort of backing up. Right, I gotta go. And he just turns. Namaris, you wanted to say something?
I was just gonna say to him, just nudge the guard and say, "Guard, it's all good. Not all of the dragons are bad." And I look at Het and I'm like, "You probably scared him a little bit. Those teeth just don't look good when they're coming at you."
Lucky he wore the brown pants.
And you get that impression. He definitely takes his leave relatively quickly. He just turns and leaves. But what I say, Namaris, this is not a guard. You obviously recognise there's a whole bunch of new guards, so not a lot of them will recognise you either as being a former city guardsman yourself. You don't have the robes of the city guard anymore because you have lost those. But he was definitely worried, and yeah, you definitely expressed to Het that maybe probably wasn't a good idea to growl at him like that. It probably hasn't helped the dragons a good situation. But he does scuttle off rather quickly. So you guys then head for the northern wall. And the towel emote is awesome. You head towards the northern wall and you scale one of the northern towers. And you're now standing on the 30 to 40 foot high outer city wall. From here you can see quite a fair bit of the northern part of the outside of the city, which is sort of open grassed area for about maybe a couple of 100 feet before it then heads out into forestry and then hills and stuff. Can you wait?
No.
I'm explaining something. From there, you look to your northwest and you can see the road leading out from one of the city gates. As you all sort of stand up there, you can see the torches, not torches, like little bonfires have been lit on the top of the city walls as you move in and around and look around the city walls itself. And they've been lit across the entire top of the city wall. spanning the entire city. Now, Nemaris, what did you want to say?
Nothing. We've passed it now. It's all good.
Past what?
Past the moment that would have been worth saying what I was going to say. So it's all good.
Well, you can't interrupt me all the time when I'm trying to explain what you're seeing. The moment hasn't passed. I've just explained what you're seeing as you're standing, reach the top of the stairs. But if you don't want to interact, that's up to you. What are you guys doing at this point?
Looking around, going, no dragon to see here.
Maybe Yildri should turn into a dragon and fly off into
What?
the outer bush or something like that. Kidding.
I say, maybe it's the great Yildri champion of men come to save us. That would be
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Hitch is looking around to see if there's any large weapons on the towers, the ballistas.
They haven't finished them yet. They are under construction. They're looking at. They used to have them many years ago, and they've basically started to rebuild them. Some of the design has changed. Some are double ballistas, so they can fire twice quick succession before being reloaded. But none of them are actually finished at this point.
Yildri, my dear, I think the fun flying should be at a minimum. Some of those ballistas are looking close to ready.
So, the ballistas on the top of the towers. That makes me feel a little nervous about being Yildri again.
We should, like you say, advertise maybe in the near future the fact that you are helping us. But Sadiq is right. We have a few months of preparation to push, push it onto the people subtly is the word I'm looking for.
And that's when I pipe up and I said, Corin did say something about that, but he didn't go into any detail.
Okay, that is good.
Maybe we should talk to Coram about how we reveal to the general public that.
Yeah, like when we see him next, we might want to. Maybe tomorrow we should go see him and say sorry for setting the alarm bells off. But
You mean Yildri go say sorry?
I don't think we should. We have to tell him. We don't have to tell him that part.
I think you have to bite the bullet.
Some guard could have made a mistake and just set to panic. We can blame one guy.
Dragon, pretty hard to miss.
The dragon's not the only big thing flying through the skies. I mean, this is Paradigm.
What else flies through the skies that's big?
It could be like a rock, that big bird that is like the size of a dragon, right?
Giant eagles, manticores, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a point, Sadiq.
Is there any airships in Paradigm?
No, there is no airships.
However, it is maybe a bit of a danger to be flying her. Hit sort of seeing Fiona and Sadiq is like, I'm not trying to take sides here, just
But he's on my side.
I really don't care. There is no side in this argument. You're gonna have to go talk to Coram, apologize for setting off the guard. At the same time, at least he knows these preparations worked.
Yeah, exactly. Just say it was a test for the guard. There we go.
There we go.
But I'm
testing
sorry.
the strength.
And say sorry. You didn't think, it's fair in the moment.
I do not say sorry.
Okay,
Silly.
well, don't say sorry. Say, please forgive me for doing something silly.
hang on, Sadiq. Was that Yildri or was that Yanti speaking?
Yildri.
Just checking.
And
So, are we going to make a visit to Coram tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah, I think we kind of need to after tonight's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ildra, if you want, Head could make his bed sheets into pretend wings and make out like he was trying a new spell.
No.
Yeah, he could actually probably pull it off.
I don't want one of the guards that aren't too bright to harpoon ballista head. Be like,
Oh,
"Here
Head
he
can
is."
handle. Head can handle it. Remember that time we were in that dungeon, and I put my arm in the acidy thing, and I was good as gold, and no one, I'm good. No, Head doesn't want to be ballisted either.
Probably a good reason why.
So after about an hour or so, you watch as slowly the bonfires start to be extinguished. Another city guardsman comes along and says that the alert level's being reduced. We've not seen anything. All is normal.
Yeah, we kind of guessed that. We haven't seen anything from here, so we're just about to head back.
Head says to the guard, just check on how many guards saw the supposed dragon?
I'm not sure. Maybe 1, 2.
Yeah. Maybe you want to check that they're not drinking on the job. It's a little, sometimes any sort of, you know what they're like. Some of you, maybe they need a little security. Maybe it's some time in the brig to think about it.
Better to be prepared than not prepared, I say.
It is true.
I mean, even if there wasn't a dragon, at least we know that the alert system works.
Well, that is also correct. Good day to you, sir.
Good evening to you.
Head back to the guild.
And you do so. Is there anything else you wish to achieve before sleeping this evening?
Go back and retire.
Yep, going to sleep.
Amaris, make sure you add your adventurers pack, or adventurers or dungeoneers? Adventurers pack. You would have, I dare say, throughout the course of the day, you would have re-outfitted yourself with from the guild stores. Waterskin, tent, bedroll, rations, and such.
Since seeing him bare his teeth at those guards and stuff, Phil's gonna sneak in his room tonight.
Already done.
Cool. So you'll retire to your rooms, and eventually sleep takes you. And that is where we'll end tonight's session. Bang on 10:30. Chat, thank you very much for joining us again this evening. Appreciate you. Thank you, players, for joining us as also. We will be returning on Wednesday evening for the Curse of Strahd. So don't forget to come and hang out with us for that. Team. Standout moments for you all this evening. Team. Standout moments holy crap. This evening. Echo. God damn it. We'll go around. Alessandros, firstly, a standout moment for you this evening, sir.
Drunken.
Speak up a little, Trash. You're quiet.
Where's your mic, mate?
Pub crawl is what he said.
He said the drunkenness pub crawl.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, finally.
Yeah, I had up the mic apparently.
Cool. So that was just it? Just that whole thing, or anything in particular that stood out?
And the high alert, that was funny.
The alert level, obviously. Cool. And we'll next go to Namaris.
Did you just call me Sharon?
I didn't call you Sharon. Oh, that moment. Oh, shit. I was like, wait, I didn't call you Sharon. What are you talking about? Yes, the drunken dwarf Sharon moment. Anything else, or just that?
Just that. That was funny.
Fiala.
I liked Ali saying, "I'm watching you. I'm watching you." That was hilarious.
That was pretty good.
There was a lot of stuff though. So yeah, but I'll pick that one.
Hit.
A couple of moments for hit, but I don't want to take anything away from Sadiq, so I'll just use one of them. The part where Namara said she takes a swing and is like, I'm too naked to fight.
Not a problem. That wasn't too bad. I mean, I think it was because she missed. She didn't want to roll again and miss again.
It just sounded funny, you know.
It was well
that
done.
was
too naked to
funny.
fight.
Well, it was well within. It was within the character's sort of point at that stage. So, Sadiq.
When we got back to the guild house and Yanti started singing her song.
The fish song.
Yeah, the fish song. I had that written down too. That's why I didn't want to reuse them all.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Several moments for me. Obviously, the Sharon moment, dropping Fiala in it. Obviously, that'll learn you for not coming up with an actual NPC. The whole session, actually, the whole interaction with the group as a whole. The training session with Namaris and Sadiq, the sparring session there, the ride, the taking Namaris for a ride on the dragon was really cool, and obviously setting off the alert level in the city. But as a whole, the whole thing was pretty good. So, chat, in saying that, we need XP for tonight. Someone give me a number between 1 and 20. Trash, you don't count.
We need 7,000 guys.
You're not going to get 7,000. We will give you 1,700 XP for tonight.
17,000.
1,700, not 1,000.
Oh.
No worries, Jax. Have a good one, buddy.
See you, Drax.
So, Namaris, you've equipped your adventurer's pack. Got everything you need. Yes, no, maybe. No one can hear you.
I have.
Cool. You've got your swax, of course. Whatever, anything else you guys can procure will happen eventually, obviously. You guys need to probably discuss that with her at some point. That is Jax. So, raiding tonight. We're going to raid Tainted Filth. He is D&Ding this evening. So we will see you all on Wednesday night for the Curse of Strahd.